Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
Come over.
Wacha nikupikie Chef Ramzi.
Yes.
Rena vegetable oil stays liquid to the last drop, so it's smooth cooking from start to finish. Now with an easy to pour cap, mapishi poa, madishi poa.
New Blue Band mayonnaise. Made from natural ingredients with omega-3 and 6 to enjoy long-lasting freshness and natural taste unlike any other mayo. Grow healthy and happy kids with New Blue Band mayonnaise.
Enjoy as low as 0.8% interest at Safaricom Sacco and access up to 5 times your deposit. Repayable within 72 months. With mortgage facilities, repayable within 25 years. Access instant loans on our USSD by dialing *345# and Surf Siri app. Talk to an agent while applying for a loan on iConnect@safaricomsacco.com. Safaricom Sacco, empowering you.
The new Maisha Aluzinc Mabati from Maisha Mabati Limited. For the first time in Kenya, a roofing product that combines aesthetics with proven resilience. Its unique combination of aluminium and zinc gives it a 5 times longer lifespan than normal Mabati, thanks to the excellent state-of-the-art mill. It has 20 years lifespan, it's easy to install, it's flexible and durable. It stands up to severe weather conditions, has good abrasion and rust resistance, it's affordable and is approved by the Kenya Bureau of Standards and is available countrywide. It can be used for all applications. Always insist on Maisha Aluzinc Mabati, a product of Maisha Mabati Rolling Mills, Ruiru.
Kazi ni simu, ndio? Umeona ring yangu?
Ring gani?
Ni za gold, pure gold. Si zile vitu za 20 bob zenye mnanuanga huko.
Madam sijaiba kitu yote maisha yangu.
Oh, so umeanza uwizi hapa kwangu Nataka kuangalia bagi yako.
Sijachukua kitu yote madam.
Vitu zinapotea kwa nyumba, kwa hivyo ni muhimu tukiangalia kama watu wanaiba.
Anachikile shop iko pale hivi ya M-Pesa, karibu na kwa Rasta. Ndio shop atatuchapele usiku.
Hizi ni nini sasa?
Are you looking to settle your family in an affordable, clean and serene environment? Get your value-added plot at only 1.295 million shillings. We also have flexible payment options of up to 12 months. Call us today on 0790 300 300.
This is NTV.
Na marhaba mpenzi mtazamaji, masala kheri popote ulipo. Wazee wa busara wanasema mkata haendi ukele, na akienda ukele akavuna mchele, jahazi tele hurudiana upele. Ni furaha iliyoje kuwa nawe sana wakati kama huu tunapokutana katika meza ya NTV jioni. Tumna mengi zaidi ambayo tumekuandalia jioni hii, lakini kama kawa kama dawa, tuanze kwa vipasho vya siku.
Maybe ni Mungu wako anarudisha kiboko kwa sababu hiyo pesa mumeembeso.
Bunge la kaunti ya Bungoma lafungwa kwa hofu ya corona, huku maambukizi nchini yakiongezeka.
The comfort and the progression and the settling of our learners is the primary driver of the decisions that we are going to make.
Serikali yaahidi kushughulikia shule zilizofurika huku janga la corona likianika wazi mapungufu ya sekta ya elimu.
Mara ya kwanza waliniambia ati nataka kuniwekea mimi sumu kwa chakula alafu niitie.
Baba na wanawe wawili walazwa hospitalini huku mtoto wa tatu akifariki kwa kupewa sumu na mama wa kambo huko Kakamega. Na ni habari njema kwa maashiki wa soka nchini, kwani msimu mpya wa ligi kuu umepangiwa kuanza tena tarehe 20 mwezi ujao.
Mbashara kutoka jumba la Nation, hii ni NTV Jioni na Salim Swale.
Naam, karibu tena mtazamaji. Upande wa pili wa studio kwa upande wa lugha ishara anatusaidia mzee mzima David Agondoa. Unapata matangazo haya vile vile mubashara kabisa kupitia mitandao yetu yote ya kijamii @NTV Kenya. Tukianza basi, bunge la kaunti ya Bungoma limefungwa kwa siku 14 kutokana na hofu ya kusambaa kwa virusi vya corona. Haya yanajiri baada ya madai ya kuwa kwamba gavana wa kaunti hiyo Wycliffe Wangamati pamoja na afisa anayesimamia masuala ya wafanyakazi pia wameambukizwa virusi vya corona.
Hofu imetanda kaunti ya Bungoma baada ya bunge la kaunti hiyo kufungwa kwa siku 14 na madiwani wote wakitakiwa kupimwa virusi vya corona. Kuna madai kwamba gavana Wangamati na mkuu wa ufanyikazi Alan Chenane wameambukizwa virusi hivyo.
I think this spike in Bungoma County is coming as a result of matrela ya kutoka. Watu wamepangana matrela kutoka Kaburengo mpaka Malava. And these people are moving along the northern corridor.
Wanasema hatua hiyo iliyochukuliwa na uongozi wa bunge hilo ni manufaa kwa wakilishi na kuwa kusalia nje kwa siku 14 pekee sio hoja.
Lazima spika amefanya kazi mzuri, amesema watu hata saa hivi vile tunafanya hivi tunaenda na nyinyi. Saa hii muone vile spika anaenda kupimwa. Ili tunataka tukiwa kwa assembly tusiwe na watu ile wasiwasi ya kwamba huyu ako na corona, huyu ako na corona, huyu ako na corona.
Kila MCA na kila mfanyikazi wa assembly anahitajika kwenda kufanya voluntary testing.
Hata hivyo, baadhi ya wakilishi wanaoegemea mrengo wa gavana akiwemo Jora Mwanjala wamepinga madai kuwa gavana Wangamati anaugua COVID-19. Huku haya kijiri, zaidi ya wafungwa 100 katika gereza la Bungoma wamethibitishwa kuwa na virusi vya corona. Usimamizi wa gereza hilo umekataa kuzungumza na wanahabari, lakini Wizara ya Afya imesema hali katika gereza hilo ni ya kutia wasiwasi. Wakati huo huo, Kenya imerekodi visa vipya 318 vipya vya maambukizi ya corona leo na kufikisha idadi ya jumla maambukizi nchini 41,937. Hii ni kutokana na sampuli 2,592 zilizopimwa katika saa 24 zilizopita. Huko hakijiri, watu 243 wamepona corona na kufikisha 31,340 idadi ya jumla ya watu waliopona virusi hivyo. Watu 10 zaidi wameaga dunia kutokana na virusi hivyo na kufikisha watu 787 idadi ya jumla walioaga dunia kutokana na COVID-19. Wizara ya Afya imewataka walimu wawe macho zaidi kutokana na hofu ya kusambaa kwa virusi vya corona na kuhakikisha usalama wa wanafunzi shuleni.
Special appeal to our teachers in schools to ensure that the agreed guidelines and protocols are followed to the letter.
Kaltun Jama, NTV.
Palliative Care Association.
Mtazamaji, janga la COVID-19 limefichua mapungufu yaliyomo katika sekta ya elimu nchini. Na japo shule nyingi zimefunguliwa upya kwa madarasa ya 4, 8 na kidato cha 4, bado kuna shule ambazo hazijafunguliwa kutokana na changamoto mbalimbali, haswatan matatizo ya kimiundo msingi. Baadhi ya shule zimekiri kwamba haziwezi kutimiza vigezo vilivyowekwa kwa ajili ya kukabiliana na COVID-19. Leila Muhammad anaangazia swala hilo kwa kina.
COVID has dealt a serious beating on education. It's a crash. Now, you cannot tell the extent of the crash until you reach the laboratory. You have to take certain kind of scans.
Siku ya pili ya muhula wa pili wa masomo ilianza kwa wakuu katika sekta ya elimu kutafuta suluhu kwa changamoto zilizosababisha baadhi ya shule kutofunguliwa nchini.
Hizo ni changamoto ambazo ziko, lakini tunazikabili kadri ya uwezo wetu.
na tuna uhakika kwamba watoto wote watapata nafasi ya kuendelea na masomo.
Katika baadhi ya shule wanafunzi wamerejea, lakini hakuna vyoo na maji safi ili kuhakikisha usafi unadumishwa.
Hivi vyoo vina pose catastrophe kwa sababu jambo la kwanza, watoto hawa ni watoto ambao wamekomaa. Mahali wanaenda kule walimu hawawezi kuwaona. Yale ambayo yatatendeka huko hatuwezi kuyajua. Na tena hiki choo kinaweza kuleta ugonjwa.
Ukosefu wa miundo msingi uliwakosesha wanafunzi wa baadhi ya maeneo nafasi ya kuendelea na mafunzo dijitali tangu shule zilipofungwa, na hata baada ya kufunguliwa baadhi hawana madawati na madarasa, huku wakilazimika kuketi sakafuni.
This is one lesson we must take home, that our children suffered because we didn't really implement the digital learning program in its entirety.
This process is going to be highly multi-sectoral if it has to be successful, because you need to have curriculum developers, KICD. You need to have NEC, which should be able to plan and undertake a rapid assessment of where our children are in terms of what they have learned.
We want to make it very clear that all children will start from where they left.
Ukosefu wa maji shuleni ni changamoto kuu, haswa katika kipindi hiki cha corona. Imebainika shule za walemavu zimeathirika zaidi na mapungufu ya miundo msingi, huku wanafunzi wachache mno wakiwa wamerejea shuleni hadi sasa.
We have about 4 class 8 boys and 3 class 8 girls and 4 grade 4 students. So the turn up is not very good.
Schools that run with special kids with special needs need to be particularly aware and careful so that they are able to protect the children as they go back to school. A lot of parents with kids with special needs have really struggled.
Leila Mohamed, NTV.
Naam, kwa wale ambao wanashauri Wizara ya Elimu, bila shaka waambieni mabosi wenu ukweli kwamba hali si nzuri. Kama mfalme yuko uchi tu, na unamwambia wazi kusudi afunike uchi. Tukisonga mbele katika masuala hayo ya elimu, idadi ya wanafunzi walioripoti shuleni katika kaunti ya Baringo ni chini mno kutokana na shule 17 katika kaunti hiyo kufunikwa na maji ya mafuriko. Akizungumza katika kaunti ya Baringo alipokuwa akizuru baadhi ya shule zilizoathirika, katibu mkuu wa Wizara ya Elimu Belio Kipsang ameelezea kuwa serikali haikuwa na ufahamu wa kiwango cha uharibifu uliosababishwa na mafuriko, lakini ameahidi kwamba serikali itatoa majibu ya jinsi walioathirika watakavyoendelea na masomo yao. Imebainika pia kwamba idadi kubwa ya wanafunzi wavulana hawakurudi shuleni kutokana na shughuli ya upashaji tohara iliyofanyika majuma kadhaa yaliyopita.
We have agreed that we look at the matrix of how we are placing our children so that we address the question of proximity for those who are day scholars. We address the question of capacity for those who are boarders, and make sure that the comfort and the progression and settling of our learners is the primary driver of the decisions that we are going to make.
Watu 5 wamenusurika kifo mapema leo baada ya kufunikwa na mchanga walipokuwa wakichimba mtaro katika kaunti ya Narok. Na kwingine kwa wafanyabiashara wanaendelea kukadiria hasara kubwa kutokana na kuharibika kwa vyakula vyao vinavyosafirishwa kupitia mpaka wa Malaba kutokana na foleni ndefu. Judith Cherono na mengi zaidi katika matukio majimboni.
Tunaanzia Narok ambapo wafanyikazi 5 waliokuwa wanachimba mtaro wa kupitisha maji taka waliokolewa na wahudumu wa pikipiki na wapita njia baada ya kufunikwa na mchanga mtaro huo ulipoporomoka. Kwa sasa wanauguzwa hospitalini. Kwa muda sasa kumekuwa na msongamano mkubwa wa malori na matrela katika mpaka wa Kenya na Uganda, eneo la Malaba, kaunti ya Busia. Hali iliharibika zaidi baada ya ajali kutokea lori lilipokosa mwelekeo na kugongana na lingine katika eneo la Mayanja na kisha kushika moto. Uchukuzi ulitatizika zaidi kati ya Kandui na Malaba. Wakati huo huo, katibu wa masuala ya jamii ya Afrika Mashariki na maendeleo ya mkoa Dr. David Desai aliyezuru kaunti ya Busia kutathmini mchakato wa utoaji vyeti kwa waliopimwa korona unaotajwa kwenda na mwendo kobe na kusababisha msongamano. Alisema mikakati inaendelea kusuluhisha tatizo hilo. Kadhalika alitathmini hali ya kupima viwango vya sumu ya aflatoxin katika vyakula vinavyosafirishwa, huku baadhi ya wafanyabiashara wakisema nafaka, matunda na vyakula vingine vimekuwa vikiharibika baada ya kukaa kwa muda mpakani. Wafanyabiashara wanataka shughuli mpakani kuharakishwa ili waache kupata hasara kubwa. Na huku huduma za matibabu katika vituo vya afya 9 zikiwa zimesitishwa kwa takriban wiki 2 sasa katika kaunti ya Trans Nzoia kufuatia mgomo wa madaktari, kamati ya afya katika bunge la kaunti hiyo ikiongozwa na mwenyekiti wake Daniel Kaburu inajiandaa kuwasilisha mswada wa kumtimua waziri wa afya katika kaunti hiyo Claire Wanyama kwa madai kuwa amezembea kazini, hali wanayodai imeathiri sekta ya afya kutokana na migomo ya mara kwa mara ya wahudumu wa afya. Judith Cherono, NTV.
Naam, ndivyo mambo yalivyo katika kaunti mbalimbali. Tukisonga mbele mtazamaji, gavana wa Machakos Dr. Alfred Mutua ni miongoni mwa viongozi waliokemea hatua ya shule moja ya wasichana kuwapulizia dawa jana walipokuwa wakirudi shuleni. Mutua anasema hatua hiyo inaweza kuwa na madhara makubwa ya kiafya kwa wasichana hao baadaye maishani. Video ya wasichana hao wakipuliziwa dawa shuleni imesambaa katika mitandao ya kijamii, huku Wakenya wa kada mbalimbali wakitaka usimamizi wa shule hiyo uchukuliwe hatua.
World Health Organization ilitangaza ikasema fumigation ya binadamu ni kosa, ninaleta madhara zaidi kuliko kuua COVID. Haisaidii hata kidogo. Sasa mimi nashindwa, ni nani kwa akili zake alifikiria ya kwamba wasichana wetu wamekuwa mende, wanapigwa dawa? Ni jambo vibaya sana. Na mimi naomba serikali kuu tafadhali, tuache kukimbilia haya mambo. Tuache kukimbilia haya mambo na kusahau ya kwamba tunapaswa kuwa na utu. Our girls are not cockroaches. Our students are not cockroaches to be fumigated with chemicals which do not do anything.
Si jambo la kuchekesha mtazamaji, lakini tukubaliana na mimi kwa kweli corona imetuonyesha vituko vingi sana. Tunapata mapumziko mafupi, lakini wewe usiondoke hapo ulipo. NTV jioni itakuwa inaendelea baada ya muda usio mrefu.
Asante sana. Sasa ni nini kingine ambacho unaweza kumfanyia msichana wetu?
Kila kitu, hata kufua nguo na aerial mpya. Unaniamini sasa?
Aerial huondoa madoa sugu kwa mwosho mmoja. Ijaribu leo uamini.
Ajali katika sekta ya bodaboda zinaendelea kuongezeka kila siku. Chanuka na Bodaboda Insurance imeletwa kwako na Chanuka Fintech wakishirikiana na Credit Bank na kuwezeshwa na M-Pesa. Kujisajili kwa Chanuka na Bodaboda Insurance, bonyeza *277#, weka shilingi 200 kila siku kwa siku 10, alafu ufuatilie na shilingi 50 kila siku kwa miezi 6, au ufuatilie na shilingi 300 kila Friday kwa miezi 6. Piga simu kwa nambari 0711082627 au tuma ujumbe mfupi kwa 40438.
All day, we expect our mouth to do all kinds of things. That is why it needs all-round protection. New Oral-B Pro Health toothpaste. Its advanced technology helps prevent both tooth holes and gum problems that can lead to tooth loss. It strengthens your teeth, giving them all-round protection. Because your mouth is doing more than you think. New Oral-B Pro Health. All-round protection for your whole mouth.
Hello, Susan. Yes, you. Holding that pack. I know you've been avoiding me because in the past I've made you uncomfortable. Maybe even caused you pain. But I want you to know that I have changed. For you.
Hey, what is this?
You can love me again if you're willing to give me another chance. Meet me at aisle 4. Hey, Susan.
It's lactose free!
We know
know you love milk, and now there is milk that loves you. With Gold Crown lactose-free milk, you can enjoy the richness of natural cow's milk without any of the digestion discomfort. Gold Crown lactose-free, milk that loves you.
Like every mother, I'm worried about dangerous insects, especially mosquitoes, which spread diseases like malaria to my loved ones. This year, I'm not afraid. I'm using Mortein Doom. Mortein Doom All Insect Killer provides protection in seconds. Not even a single mosquito is spared, because even one mosquito bite can cause malaria. Mortein Doom provides protection in seconds.
Mkate kweli ni selector, ukikula kwanza na kachai. Tunasema mkate gani tamu zaidi, wenye afya tele tena tosaidi. Bei yake bado ni ile ile nafuu, na unapatikana karibu na wewe. Selector, selector, selector. Mkate ni selector.
Kazi ni simu, tu ndio? Umeona ring yangu?
Ring gani?
Ni za gold, pure gold. Si zile vitu za 20 bob zenye mnanuanga huko.
Madam sijaiba kitu yote maisha yangu.
Oh, so umeanza wizi hapa kwangu Nataka kuangalia bagi yako.
Sijachukua kitu yote madam.
Vitu zinapotea kwa nyumba, kwa hivyo ni muhimu tukiangalia kama watu wanaiba.
Anachikile shop iko pale hivi ya M-Pesa, karibu na kwa Rasta. Ndio shop atatuchapelea usiku.
Hizi ni nini sasa?
Are you looking to settle your family in an affordable, clean and serene environment? Get your value-added plot at only 1.295 million shillings. We also have flexible payment options of up to 12 months. Call us today on 0790 300 300.
Karibu tena mtazamaji, tuendelee na taarifa za NTV jioni. Polisi huko Kabras, eneo la Malava katika kaunti ya Kakamega, wanamzuilia mwanamke mwenye umri wa miaka 34. Anadaiwa kutia sumu kwenye chakula akiwa na nia ya kuwaua watoto wa kambo pamoja na mumewe. Mtoto mmoja amefariki kutokana na makali ya sumu, huku watoto wengine wawili pamoja na baba yao wakilazwa hospitalini. Zakius Masame na mengi zaidi.
Kisa hiki kilitokea katika kijiji cha Muyunde, eneo bunge la Malava. Mshukiwa Adelaide Simiyu mwenye umri wa miaka 34 anasemekana kuandaa chajio kilichotiwa sumu, huku akiwa na lengo la kuangamiza watoto wa mke mwenza aliyepewa talaka. Majirani wanasema Adelaide alifanya hivyo kwa kuwa mumewe amekuwa akiwasiliana na mke wa kwanza licha ya kuwa waliachana.
Nilisikia nduru, nikakimbia kutoka nyumbani nikafika hapa. Hakika nikapata mtoto amelala amekufa. Kuuliza ni nini mbaya? Na uliza nilikuwa nafikiria ni huyo peke yake. Lakini nikapata wengine wameenda hospitali, mtoto yangu pia ameenda hospitali.
Wakati walikula chakula, sasa inapatikana yeye na mtoto yake ambaye amezaa mmoja huyu ni wasima. Lakini watoto ambao alipata ni wenzake, wote wako hospitalini na bwana yake.
Alikuwa anahisi maumivu sana, hata walimpeleka nje akalala nje. Wenye alilala tu nje kiasi akaanza kuhara na kutapika, wakamrudisha kwa nyumba. Kitoko tu hivi shoshana niita ati kuja mwenzaka anasirai.
Dai aliibuka kuwa Adelaide amekuwa akitoa vitisho vya kuwaua wanao wa kambo mara kwa mara, jambo lililowapa wenyeji sababu ya kuamini kuwa alihusika katika uhayawani huo.
Kwa maana mtu kama huyu kukaa kwa familia kama amefanya kitendo kama hiki, haruhusi kukaa hapa. Lakini tutakaa kama familia tukiwa kama ni kuenda aende, hawezi rudi hapa kama amefanya kitendo kama hiki.
Chakula inasemekana ilikuwa kidogo. Si chakula ambayo ilipaki, waenda wafanye uchunguzi. Aliona atengeneza tu chakula kidogo ile watakula wamalize, hata iko kitafuta evidence iko sawa.
Akiwa anazuiliwa katika kituo cha polisi cha Malava na anatarajiwa kufikishwa mahakamani kujibu mashtaka ya mauaji. Zakius Masame, NTV, Malava katika kaunti ya Kakamega.
Kuna kibao kilikuwa kinauliza zamani, kati ya baba wa kambo na mama wa kambo nani aliyembaya? Jibu nalo wewe mtazamaji. Wabunge wanaoegemea mrengo wa naibu rais William Ruto maarufu kama Tangatanga hii leo wamekashifu vikali Inspector Generali wa polisi Hilary Mutyambai wakidai kwamba polisi wanadhulumu wananchi na walitumia nguvu kupita kiasi kuzima ghasia katika eneo la Kenol zilizoishia kwa vifo vya watu wawili kabla ya ziara ya Ruto katika kanisa moja eneo hilo. Wabunge hao Ndindi Nyoro, Rigathi Gachagua na Kimani Ichung'wah wameitaka mahakama ya kimataifa ICC kumfungulia mashtaka Hilary Mutyambai, huku wakinyoshea kidole cha lawama kwa machafuko yaliyoshuhudiwa Jumapili hiyo. Kando na hayo, wanadai sheria ya utaratibu wa umma kuhusu mkutano au ni mikutano ya kisiasa unalenga kumbana naibu rais pamoja na hekaheka zake za kutafuta urais mwaka 2022.
We are obligated as citizens to exercise civil disobedience against that law. And very soon, let me tell you, Bwana IG, prepare all the tear gas that you have. Prepare all the bullets that you have. And we will see how many policemen you have against the people of Kenya.
Na katiba inanipea ruhusa ya kukutana pahali popote na kuwa na marafiki wale wote ambao wanapendeza roho yangu. Na kwa hivyo wasifikiria tear gas ndio itaniambia huyu sio rafiki mzuri, huyu ndiye mzuri.
Na tungetaka kuambia police officers wakianza na Inspector General of Police, don't be misused by a government that has only 2 years to go. Hiyo maswali utakuja kujibu kwa serikali.
Ndio hayo ya kisiasa. Kuna na hii hapa ya gazeti la Taifa Leo, lakini mimi simo kabisa. Ripoti ya utafiti inaonyesha kwamba wanaume wako matatani, kwani wengi walidhulumiwa na wanawake wakati wa lockdown corona ilipoingia nchini. Pata hayo na mengine mengi katika toleo la kesho la gazeti lako ulipendalo la Taifa Leo. Nikwambia mimi sipo kabisa mtazamaji. Tupate mapumziko mengine mafupi, nikirudi nitakuwa na mengi zaidi katika ulingo wa spoti. Usibanduke.
Melissa? Mom, it's Dad's birthday today. I'm giving him a party just like he gives me.
Nothing makes a mother more proud than seeing her child growing up. But I know that as she learns to care for others, she'll face even more germs and the risk of illnesses.
That's why you need strong Dettol protection. Just 1 cup of Dettol protects your home and family from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Growing up needs Dettol protection.
The Dettol range is available on Jumia. Shop safely and conveniently today.
Happy anniversary! Mbona hii mabati kina dad na mom bado inakaa mpya? Na hii nyumba imekuwa hapa for so many years. Na pia umelelewa hapa.
Wow, imagine hata nilikuwa sija notice. Rufus, wewe ni fundi wangu wa miaka mingi sana. Haya mabati yatadumu kweli? Huyu kijana nilimwambia anunue mabati ya Dumuzas.
Usibahatishe mabati. Hakikisha umeangalia alama za kudhibitisha Dumuzas halisi. Chagua Dumuzas, mabati inayodumu kudumu. Isitoshe, Dumuzas ndio mabati pekee inayokuja na warranty.
Sitaki tena kubahatisha.
Introducing Centric Courts Apartments in Tindigwa, Kiambu, located just 12 kilometers from the CBD. On sale is a group of 3-bedroom apartments that offer elegance, style, and proximity to a host of services and amenities. Enjoy 24/7 security, ample parking space, hot solar water, and kids play area. Cash offer at 10.5 million. Rent at 55,000 shillings, or a block of 16 units for 160 million. The first 3 cash buyers will win a car or a furnished apartment. Call us on 0735 832 709 or 0791 874 281.
Helen Paul.
Hello, madam. Would you like to join us on this mission?
Yes, but how?
Just one question for you. How do you keep your toilet clean?
I use regular detergent and bleach for washing and removing yellow stains. I've been using it for years.
Oh, madam, the regular detergents and bleach are used for washing clothes. To disinfect your toilet properly, you need Harpic 10X. It is specially made for germs and stains removal. Harpic's thick formula settles on stains and gives 10 times better cleaning compared to regular detergents and bleach.
Wow, now I'm convinced, Helen Paul.
Really?
Yeah.
Now that she's part of the mission, the next house is yours.
In Kenya, 1 in 2 children suffer from cavities.
Brushing with Pepsodent removes bacteria and repairs tiny holes before they become cavities. Because every smile matters.
Geisha coconut milk and honey, enriched with coconut milk for soft and moisturized skin.
Be strong and last long.
Karibu michezoni mtazamaji. Baraza kuu la FKF linalosimamia ligi ya kandanda nchini limetangaza kuwa msimu mpya wa ligi kuu ya soka unaweza kuanza tarehe 20 ya mwezi ujao wa Novemba. Hili litategemea iwapo serikali itaidhinisha mikakati iliyowekwa na FKF kwa ajili ya kuhakikisha kwamba mechi zinaendeshwa kwa utaratibu wa kuzuia maambukizi ya virusi vya corona. FKF imesema kuwa tarehe iliyoteuliwa inaendana na kalenda ya soka kimataifa na kwamba endapo ligi itachelewa kuanza baada ya tarehe 20 Novemba itakuwa ni vigumu kuendesha shughuli hiyo kwa utaratibu ufaao hadi kukamilika. Katika riadha, kikosi kitakachowakilisha Kenya katika mashindano ya mwaka huu ya nusu marathon siku ya Jumamosi nchini Poland kimeondoka humo nchini jioni leo kuelekea nchini humo. Kikosi hicho kinachowajumuisha wanariadha 10 kutoka humo nchini wakiongozwa na mshikilizi wa rekodi ya dunia katika mbio za nusu marathon kwa wanawake Peres Jepchirchir kimesema kiko tayari kuiletea Kenya fahari katika mashindano hayo. Hata hivyo, mshikilizi wa rekodi katika upande wa wanaume Geoffrey Kamworor hatoshiriki makala ya mwaka huu kutokana na jeraha. Na kimataifa, Ujerumani imealika Switzerland leo usiku katika mchuano wa ligi ya mataifa ya Ulaya. Mabingwa hao mara kadhaa wa dunia wanatarajia kuendeleza rekodi ya ushindi baada ya mafanikio katika mechi yao dhidi ya Ukraine Jumamosi iliyopita. Ujerumani ilikuwa imetoka sare katika mechi 4 na kushindwa katika mechi 2 zilizoshiriki hapo awali. Switzerland kwa upande wake watategemea matokeo yao mazuri katika michuano hii katika msimu wa mwaka 2018-19 ambapo walishindwa na Ureno kwenye nusu finali. Katika mechi nyingine leo usiku Uhispania itachuana na Ukraine.
What Yogi has in store for us here. Hope you are enjoying this live training session here in the ADM Sportpark Stuttgart. In Stuttgart, well, you know you're moving in the right direction. And Mr. Löw.
Mchezaji mahiri wa Ureno na Juventus Cristiano Ronaldo amepatikana virusi vya corona. Hilo limetangazwa na usimamizi wa ligi kuu ya soka nchini Ureno. Mshambuliaji huyo alikuwa kwenye orodha ya wachezaji wanaostahili kushiriki katika mechi ya marudiano huko nchini Sweden Jumatatu ya wiki hii. Mabao yake mawili yaliipa Ureno ushindi katika mechi ya awamu ya kwanza waliposhinda Sweden mabao 2-0. Na mtazamaji, kila kilicho na mwanzo hakikosi kuwa na mwisho, na hadi kufikia hapo sina kilichozidi wala kilichopungua kutoka kwenye meza ya NTV jioni. Kwa niaba ya wale wote walioshiriki kufanikisha taarifa za usiku huu, akiwemo mwenzangu wa lugha ishara David Agondoa na mtayarishi wangu Daniel Mule, mimi ni Salim Swaleh na kutakia usiku mtulivu. Kwaheri.
This is NTV.
I help women find independence by training them in fish farming. It's tough on my back, joints, and can cause headaches. Panadol Extra relieves multiple types of pain. If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
That is what this could be. Hii yote ni 5 acres. We are going to build the greenhouse for you, sell the produce, na pia tutagawana faida. 75%, 25%.
You mean 75% for me?
Sign hapa kwanza. First year yield itakuwa ni 67%. Na kuna taxes.
You mean
sign hapa na hapa. Additionally, kuna 2% facilitation fee na warehouse charges. Sign hapa ya mwisho.
And this is a sure deal.
Completely transparent.
Okay.
If only all things in life were as honest as Airtel's amazing data. Get 500 MB free daily 3.5 GB free weekly and 15 GB free monthly with every bundle purchase. Not just for a few, but for every one of you. Switch to Airtel and save. The Honest Network.
Get an 8-acre prime residential plot with soil merchants in Kisamis along Magadi Road, a few minutes from the vibrant Kiserian town. Electricity and borehole water available at 148,000 Kenya shillings for cash buyers or 195,000 Kenya shillings for installment buyers. Pay 30% deposit and clear the balance in 6 months. SMS plot to 21595 for details. Welcome to our open day on 17th October 2020. Buy today, build tomorrow.
Do more to protect yourself and family from viruses that remain on the clothes. Separate laundry that has been exposed and do not shake to minimize the possibility of dispersing the virus through the air. Soaking your laundry in water and hand washing powder does more to kill germs than just a normal wash. After washing, dry your clothes in direct sunlight.
They say we do the expected. We say we're more than you expect. Sunlight, more than you expect.
When they flip and roll and start to crawl away, tape diapers can be hard to put on. Then it's time for all-round fit Pampers pants. Easy to pull on even when they're moving around for a great fit and up to 12 hours of dryness. And easy to remove. Just tear the sides, lift away, roll up the pants, and you're all done. Now available in size 6. Pampers, love, sleep and play.
Mimi ni mwanabiashara, niko na club inaitwa Miami Garden Resorts na iko located Matu. Tulipokuja tukajenga tukafikia almost finishing. Equity walituongelesha wakatuambia investment mmeweka hapa, tunaweza taka pia tukue partners na nyinyi. Wakatupatia boost. 2019 ndio tulifungua sasa. Miami ilikuwa ndio talk of the Matu. After ile support ya Equity ilibidi tu kustrangu sana. Kutoka mwezi wa pili, before yo mwezi ishe, mwezi wa 3 hivi, corona pia tukaanza kujiuliza sasa, hapa tuko na Equity, tuko na staff. Before tujue ya kufanya, wakakuja tena wakatupatia hiyo hope ya kwamba imesimama hapo kutushikilia. Mwanzo walikuja wasema tu apply tupewe 3 months bila kulipa. Wakatuambia sio limit, in case ikifika huko na kuja change we can still extend. Si kama kuna bank nyingine ningeenda ingefikiria vile hiyo walifikiria.
We are Nation, Africa's independent media brand. We are committed to empowering all Africans, from the young to the old, from the curious to the educated, and from the heart of the cities to the rural areas. We are Nation. Join us, because if you want to get far, you do it together. Nation. Empower Africa.
Akili, 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 akili. Let's chase the germs away. Let's chase the germs away by keeping our hands clean. And when you want to sneeze or when you want to cough, do it in your elbow. Let's practice sneezing into your elbow. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Achoo! Again. Achoo! Yay! You did it! Germs, germs, germs. They make us sick. Germs, germs, germs are not our friends. Germs, germs, germs. They make us sick. Germs, germs, germs. Germs, germs, germs are not your friends.
Do you need to send your parcel or document during this period? The Nation Courier Services, with over 15 years of distribution experience, will deliver it for you. We deliver to every corner of Kenya. due to our strong distribution network, have overnight door-to-door service and same-day intra-city service with the security and safety of the client's shipment guaranteed. Your parcel is our priority. We'll deliver it for you. Contact us for delivery on courier services at ke.nationmedia.com or call 0719 038 739.
Welcome to Pishi Home Chef. Oh, just perfect.
We're gonna be cooking breakfast.
Making chicken shikaki, carbonara.
And I'm so happy to be on this show.
Those people think I can't do cooking. I forgot onions.
So I have to call her, literally to call her and ask her and say your recipe.
Pishi Yoi. Check out at Pishi254.
It is Tuesday, the 13th of October 2020. A warm and hearty welcome to another edition of Business Redefined, your most comprehensive weekly look at the world of business and economics. I am Julius Amboko, and tonight we are focusing on the subject of mobilizing global capital to bring about community development and economic transformation. And on set, I have a robust panel from ActionAid and its partners. I will be introducing them as I ask questions, but before that, let me just remind you that you can be part of this conversation by tweeting at NTV Kenya at AbokoJH. The hashtag is Business Redefined. And let me just cross over to the executive director who's with me here in studio, Susan Otieno. A critical element is about bringing sustainable change in the communities, and ActionAid has a very particular way in which it goes about this. Just give us a sense of how you conduct this.
Yeah, good evening. ActionAid believes the people who are living in poverty and exclusion are the main change agents, and for this reason we also believe again that poverty is a function of injustices and marginalization and denial of rights. So we focus on the communities that we work with, and more so the people living in poverty and exclusion, to ensure that they can come together, bring the powers that they have together, and seek for accountable governance and seek for processes that would guarantee them their rights in their communities. And these rights then they seek by engaging with the government, both national and the county government.
Okay.
Yes.
Great, and we'll be unpacking a number of the things you've mentioned in greater detail as we proceed with this conversation. But let me cross over to Lorraine Masano, who is the chairperson at ActionAid. And Lorraine, you have the mandate of dealing with the subject of partnerships. Just give us a sense of how you actually coordinate this aspect of leveraging partnerships to bring about economic transformation and community development.
A very good evening, and thank you for this opportunity. And from ActionAid Kenya, what we do is that we are keen using the human rights-based approach. We are very keen on having people on the ground, from the grassroots, who are able to bring about change from the very grassroots. And how to do that is that we empower them, we reach out and find who are the people in several communities across the counties of Kenya and encourage them to be proactive, and they themselves become the change agents. We believe in mobilizing people who are able to shortlist what exactly are their issues, and on that platform we are able to fund several of their initiatives that are homegrown. And in that way, we find change happening all across the several counties of Kenya that we serve amongst. Thank you.
Great. And Lorinda clearly speaking to the subject of bottom-up driven change within communities. Let me cross over to Celestine Deje, who is attached to the Sauti ya Wanawake. Celestine, kama unanipata, swala la kujumuishwa kwa Sauti ya Wanawake imekuwa na changamoto katika masuala ya kueneza uchumi ama development. Sijui unaweza kusema vipi kuhusu hali ilivyo kwa sasa?
Mwanzo, kwa majina yangu naitwa Celestine Deje, natokea eneo la Pwani, ni mwanaharakati wa vuguvugu la Sauti ya Wanawake. Tunatetea haki za binadamu, haswa haki za mama na mtoto msichana. Tunaelimisha wamama kujua haki zao ili kuwasilisha mambo ya wanawake na mtoto msichana.
Okay.
Asante.
Shukran. Crossing over to Caroline, who is attached to the Komesi Women's Network. Caroline, the issue of women's rights and ensuring that this is incorporated into the policy framework in this country is very critical. How far are we as far as this is concerned?
So far, I'm Caroline Church from West Pokot County, member of Komesi Women's Network. So as Komesi, we are seeing that women are to be included in any issues which are taking place, and especially where we are seeing that women have been lagging behind with girls. So we are to give women and girls time. We pay attention to time to girls and women so that they can air in and address their issues.
Great. And Haji Mwaki is also a partner who is attached to the Taita Taveta Human Rights Watch. Haji, the issue of land rights is very critical, especially in the coastal region. If you could give us a view as to what is being done around this within the context of community mobilization and development, Haji. Haji, I think you're on mute. Just unmute your mic before you comment, please.
Thank you very much. The issue of land in coastal region is quite a critical issue, and as we all know, that land is the center of production. And basically, I would like to raise the issue of land in the Taita area, where land use is quite challenging, given the fact that over 62% of the land in this county is national park, and the remaining land is actually being used on issues of ranching and conservancies and small bits for production. So here in Taita Taveta, in the Taveta Human Rights Watch, we try to help communities. We've been built big capacities by Action 8, and now we use these capacities to disseminate the information and empower communities to understand about their land rights.
Great point there by Haji Mwakio. Consolata Lomilo is with the Isiolo Voice of Women. And Consolata, the subject of arid and semi-arid land, of course, there are communities which feel extremely marginalized, particularly in these areas. What do you think can be done or is being done, and how do we further the development agenda? I think we're having a challenge getting to Consolata. But let me move to Sophia Diyeka, who is with the Kilifi Citizens Forum. And of course, the question of accountability from governance structures, especially in an environment where we have the national and devolved governments, is very important. Sophia, if you could give us an idea of what you are doing towards coordination between the two levels of government in ensuring that there's community development, we would be happy to hear your thoughts.
Good evening. I'm Sophia Diyeka from Kilifi County. Okay, we as Kilifi Citizen Forum, we are a community-driven platform where we give space give space to citizens where they can have a meaningful citizen engagement. So we have structures from the village level to the county, to the sub-county, to the up to the county level. These committees act as a very important structures to help in the look or in the run of how our resources are being used in the county government.
Right, and that point by Sophia Dieka takes us to a short break. Remember, Business Redefined will be back with a lot more on this subject. And you can be part of this conversation by tweeting at NTV Kenya at @AmbokweJH. The hashtag is Business Redefined. Don't go too far.
Get fresh, gotta get fresh. Downy's new boom boom pow, Downy boom boom pow. Smells bayana uchafuzi na zidi na improve Downy. Protect nguo zangu na nukia niko safi. Lazima niwe fresh na Downy's boom boom pow. Boom boom pow, Downy's new boom boom pow. Smells zote nazi boom boom pow. Powerful freshness, Downy's boom boom pow. Nani 15 bob too?
What is yawa? What is that? Is that, could that be a fire? At this time, where is that kijana?
It's just our school alarm. We are practicing to go back to school.
And who is going to pay those fees?
We understand that you might not be ready to go back to school, but at Naivas, tuko rada kurudi shule. Our shelves are fully stocked and prices greatly discounted for you to make that quick and easy return to school. With thousands of back-to-school items, price cuts on your true favorites, and points to score on your Naivas card. You get going for an A+ term at all Naivas branches countrywide.
Mom, tuko rada.
Labda Naivas, wewe na kichwa yako bado inalala. Just like our bank account.
Tuko rada kurudi shule na Naivas. The back-to-school that's safe on your pocket. Naivas saves you money.
When I was in prison, I thought a lot about you.
This is not acceptable!
We know you love milk, and now there is milk that loves you. With Gold Crown lactose-free milk, you can enjoy the richness of natural cow's milk without any of the digestion discomfort. Gold Crown lactose-free milk that loves you.
Jisot na bonga style yako by redeeming your bonga points for affordable smartphones at unbeatable prices at Safaricom shops and dealers countrywide or on masoko.com. Just dial *126#, check your points balance and go shopping.
The pandemic has left more destruction than even the virus itself. Our business is still there thanks to things like EasyPay and EasyBiz. We're moving paperless, we're moving cashless with equity.
Get an 8-acre prime residential plot with soil merchants in Kisamis along Magadi Road at 148,000 Kenya shillings for cash buyers or 195,000 Kenya shillings for installment buyers. Come to our open day on 17th October.
Welcome back to Business Redefined. Tonight we are focusing on mobilizing global capital to bring about community change and economic transformation. And of course, we are hosting Action Aid in this conversation. And I should mention that you can be part of this conversation by tweeting online at @AmbokweJH, at NTV Kenya, and at Action Aid _ Kenya. Sorry for that. And let me just cross over to the executive director who's with me here in studio, Susan Otieno. We are having this conversation within the context of COVID-19, which of course has affected the operations of many entities, whether it is businesses or public sector. How has this affected your operations as Action Aid?
Yeah, as Action Aid, and as we have said, we work in partnership with communities. The lockdown brought in the challenges of reaching communities. However, we capitalized on the partnerships that we've built at the grassroots levels. And again, there's been increase in number of the people whom we've been targeting to engage with. because many people lost their jobs, they lost their livelihoods, and hence it meant that the number of people who require to be supported kept increasing. We as ActionAid have prioritized the rights of women and girls, and we had made quite huge strides, especially around issues on violence against women, issues of girls in education. And many of you, you've heard over and over a big number of girls who are getting pregnant, early pregnancy, and hence we are quite worried that many girls are going to drop out of school. We've witnessed violence because many women have found themselves in relationships that have led to violence both at home and in various situations. And so this has caused the view that gains that we made as ActionAid would be eroded. And it is to this reason that we are actually calling on to the duty bearers, that accountability for communities, for people living in poverty, for women and girls, ensuring that we are having gender responsive public services to benefit them is actually a government responsibility. And it should cut across, right from the national government, going to the county government, as we appreciate devolution, to ensure that there's safety and there's also security.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. And let me cross to Laureen Maseno. Susan here has spoken about the challenges you've faced as ActionAid as far as implementing your agenda is concerned. But then there is the funding side. Of course, we appreciate that a lot of the funding comes from the external environment. But this particular year, many are facing challenges, not just in Kenya, but globally. How has this affected your operations?
Thank you very much. Over the time, what has happened with the advent of COVID, we must admit that many NGOs have had an impact in their funding sources and streams. And this will not be unique to ActionAid Kenya per se. However, from the governance level, understanding that during COVID it is important, and the governance of the organization would have to be sensitive on ensuring that ActionAid Kenya remains afloat, and for any other governance setting, as it were. So that would be the first matter. So when it comes to funding, what happened is that there has been conversations with the funding partners. We have institutional funders who have been able to help us over the time by accepting to reassign or reallocate certain funding bases, or even with limit when they are able to leave a certain project. So those leeways and negotiations with the funding affiliates were useful. And in that way, we were able to pass through this stormy session that not only affected ActionAid Kenya, but in general, all other NGOs. So I think the important thing here is when the funding affiliates are able to discuss openly with ActionAid and say, okay, this is what we are facing, what can we do so that we can together pull through. And that was what happened at ActionAid Kenya, and we hope it can happen as we go along. Thank you.
Clearly, it's a situation which cuts across the board as far as the NGO community is concerned. I want to cross over to Celestine Deja. Celestine, haki za wasichana na wanawake zinapewa kipaumbele katika agenda ya ActionAid, na mwaka huu haswa tumeona swala la mimba za mapema kutokana na wanafunzi kukaa nyumbani kwa muda mrefu. Je, ungesema kwa mtazamo wako hili ni changamoto kwa kiasi gani?
Imekuwa na changamoto sana, hasa wakati wa corona. Kwa wanafunzi wetu tunaona ni wengi wameweza kupata mimba za mapema, hata kuolewa pia, na hata wazazi pia wameweza kuwa na hali ya chini ya uchumi, kwa sababu wazee wengi ama watu wengi wameweza kupoteza kazi zao. So uchumi umekuwa chini sana. Hata imebidi sasa tuungane na shirika la ActionAid, tuanzishe Girls Forum na Boys Forum, tuweze kuongea nao, tujaribu kupunguza hizi mimba za mapema na ndoa za mapema.
Asa,
Na katika familia ambazo ziko katika hali ya chini ya uchochole, tumeweza pia kushirikiana na shirika letu la ActionAid kuwawezesha katika mambo ya ukulima, kuwezesha pia kuwapatia kuku na hata kuwapatia fedha kidogo za kufanya biashara ndogo ndogo ili waweze kujikimu kimaisha.
Okay.
Asante.
Shukran sana. Crossing over to Caroline, we have had a conversation about the empowerment at the grassroots, and we're just keen to understand, as far as economic activity is concerned, how are you empowered through the community exercises you engage in, whether it's through farming or business? Because, of course, the subject of business resilience is really coming up in this environment.
So, as Commerce Women Network, being an organization which fights for the rights of women and girls, we are doing certain activities that will empower women economically. Like we have activities like bead making, tailoring in the resource center, which will help them to have skills so that they can go out there and have or start their own NGOs to sustain their families. Also, we have other partners like poultry partner, which have already empowered women by starting poultry keeping in the county, of which we are really seeing that women have been able to get their own, of which they can help their families and also educate their children. So as Commerce Women Network, we are not leaving behind women economically. We are seeing that as we empower women, we empower the whole family. Yes.
Right, many thanks, Caroline. Crossing over to Haji in Taita Taveta. Haji, the subject of policy advocacy has become extremely important, especially in an environment where we have two levels of government, that is the devolved, which is county, and the national government. How is this affecting you as a person who champions the interests of the community?
Thank you very much. We've tried very much after being built capacities by ActionAid. As a Taveta Human Rights Watch, we've had ourselves participating in formulation of quite a number of policies. Like just a few days ago, we've been trying to formulate the gender-based violence policy and the children policy in this county. But also in terms of land, whereby we know the economic part of it, we've also tried to make sure that the implementation of the existing legislation is done, like the issues of land rights, whereby women have a right on land. We've tried to push to ensure that women's rights are actually respected. And we are happy that after being built capacity, we've been able to disseminate the same. Now we have, and our target areas were men, because men are the perpetrators of denying women land rights. And we've tried to have male champions. We've involved the Council of Elders to bring them on board and make sure that they respect the women land rights, so that they can enable women's rights and their economic power. And this has been possible. And in this county now, the Taveta, we can say that after this kind of capacity is built, we've had more women now owning land compared to 2016, whereby only 18% of women were owning land. In the year 2018-2019, 23% of women had title deeds. This year, 2020, we are happy to say that we now have 34% of title owners this year were women. And also, we've tried to bring women, we've tried to build capacities of communities to ensure that they respect women's land rights.
Okay.
And today, we can say in the Taveta County, we have the Land Control Board committees. We have 8 women sitting in the Land Board Control committees, because that's where decisions are made. So when you have women on the platform, then you're sure about women's land rights are being respected. And then also in mining, this is part of the extractives in this county where mining is quite a big exercise. Previously, women are not allowed to go into mining, but now we are happy after creating awareness. Now women are in mining. I would like to say that we now have 7 registered women groups doing in mining, and over 30 women actually doing active mining. And we already have a very vibrant women movement doing the issues of mining. Just the COVID-19 actually affected the women very much because of the landlocked and the gem markets are in Mombasa or Nairobi. So the land
allow me to respectfully intercept you at that point, because I need to bring in Susan Otieno on something which you talked about. The subject of coordination between the county and national governments as far as the devolution of some functions is concerned really touches on your agenda. How would you say this has impacted you, Susan, as ActionAid?
We know there are functions for national governments and equally devolved functions. And if you look at policies, you look at the legislative functions, it falls on both governments. For us, devolution is one agenda that we supported as ActionAid, and we did this because we saw power going down to the communities, and that power is what we are telling communities that they need to claim their rightful space, they need to engage in public participation. So with the devolution, we've equally seen communities rising up to claim their rights because we know that denial of rights and unequal powers are the main causes of poverty. But again, we are also seeing the challenges that keep coming up because while we have a community that will demand for public participation, we find a challenge in terms of rolling that out and ensuring that it is meaningful, it is greater, and it is impactful. And so we focus on that as ActionAid to ensure that both communities, and now we are even crossing over working with the county government officials to ensure that there is a modality that is followed as stipulated in the respective legislations on how public participation should be driven, ensuring that community voices are added to the processes and their priorities are taken into account. And that's what we pride in as ActionAid, because we ensure we are building the social networks, we are building organizations that support community interests, but are equally well empowered to engage with the governments, both at county level and at national level.
Many thanks, Susan. Getting to Lorraine, looking at the ActionAid theory of change, which basically gives a sense of how you go about your mission, there is the emphasis of ActionAid as both a catalyst and a contributor to the community development and economic transformation. Help us understand why this is important.
Thank you very much. It is important that ActionAid can not only be a catalyst for development and change, and that motion for putting this in motion is through what we are doing as ActionAid across the counties, and we pride ourselves in being able to be available for different communities. We actually have several partnership support units, and these support units not only offer induction and enabling people at the grassroots be able to organize themselves, take up initiatives, and be able to front those very things that they need to be actioned upon within their communities. And so as a catalyst, then we empower, and we are keen on shared power, because then by making people sensitive that you can be an agent and you don't always have to rely on handouts, that over time we engage with partners, and after some time we give ourselves 10 years in a certain area, after which we then withdraw and believe that you're able to go on. So not only are we catalysts, but we empower you and allow you to stand on your own feet and be able to continue, so that you yourselves can be able to take up decisions moving forward in your very communities and not remain dependent. Thank you.
Great. Lorraine, before I just let you go, clearly, and there's also the other issue of different contexts require different strategies. Just give us a sense of this by way of implication.
Thank you very much. I'd want, first of all, also, as I get into your question, is to recognize that I sit here on behalf of a General Assembly of more than 44 members, and these are people who are taken from all across the country in different counties. And it is from the General Assembly that I, as a board chair, and my board were elected. This is just to give some sense of confidence in terms of our ability to, on matters governance, that there is transparency and ways in which we work. And moving on and now into your question, that different contexts, therefore, when we work in a context, give an example, Kishushe in Bamburi, where we have visited often, Kishushe in the Voi area, as we get there, there is a context, and in this area there's been much more on, say, matters that affect girls, women and girls in certain ways that is different from what you will find when you go to an area like Makima. And therefore, once we get into an area, we are able to ascertain and assess what are the emphases, what are the points we need to lay focus on. And therefore, one approach will not be useful to, will not be a blanket approach all across the counties because of the specific contexts, the participants, the worldview, and the cultural context in which we find ourselves immersed. Thank you.
Right, many thanks, Lorraine. Crossing over to Celestine. Celestine, swala moja ambalo huibuka mara kadha wa kadha tunapozungumzia jambo la haki za wanawake ni katiba ya mwaka wa 2010 ambalo inapigiwa sifa kwamba ilipanua haki za wanawake. Je, kwa mtazamo wako, miaka 10 baadaye unaweza sema kwamba tumepiga hatua mbele katika kuboresha maisha ya wanawake na wasichana ama vipi?
Asante. Katika kuboresha haki za wanawake, tumeweza kuelimisha wanawake kujua haki zao na pamoja na wasichana. Tumewawezesha ama kuwajenga uwezo wa kuweza kutetea hata vile ambavyo shida zao ziko ambazo wanaweza kuziwakilisha hata kwa county wakati wa public participation, hata wakati wa budget processing huwa naenda kupeleka shida zao. Na katika kusema miaka ijayo tunaweza kuchagua mama kama kiongozi. Na katika sehemu yetu ya Pwani tumeweza kufundisha wasichana na wamama katika hali ya kupigania uongozi, na hata tukisema sana wamama tuweze kushikana kwa ukamilifu. Mama mwenzetu akisimama katika kupigania kiti tuweze kumwezesha, kumshika mkono. Tuache tofauti zetu, maana tunajua mama anaweza. Mama ni kila kitu. Katika nyumba mama anafanya kila kitu. Na vile mama anaweza kuongoza nyumba, je, kwa serikali sini zaidi? Ni tunaomba ile jenda yetu ambayo tuliweza kupigania wakati ule, hata Green Amendment. Tunataka wamama wawasilishwe tuwe sawa kwa usawa na wanaume. Sioni ni kwa nini wanaume wanaweza kutuacha na wakati wa kupiga kura wamama ndio wanapiga kura. Na sasa tunataka wamama washikwe mkono, kila mama sote tushikane, na wamama wa viongozi, hata community pia imeona umuhimu wa mama kuwa kiongozi. Mama akiwa kiongozi kila mahali, hata vijana wetu ambao wanatafuta kazi huwa hakuna shida, watawezeshwa vizuri. Maana tunaona hata kama maofisi nyingi vijana wetu wakienda kutafuta kazi, wanaume huwa wanawatongoza, wajue matakwa yao kwanza ndio wapewe kazi. Lakini kukiwa mama pale, mama ni mama, haizi bagua mtoto msichana na mtoto kijana, wote wanawapatia kazi kama mtoto wake. Kwa hivyo tunaomba serikali, hata sieti tunaomba, tunataka tuwe sawa kwa usawa, maana sote tu wanadamu.
Okay.
Asante.
And that's clearly a voice for the quest of equality across the two gender. And moving on to Caroline, something really related. We talk about the anchor of the agenda of Action Aid being the equitable sharing of power and resources. How would you feel the landscape is like as far as this is concerned, Caroline?
So I feel that as in the community, like women are supposed to be given the same opportunity as men. This is because come to education. We all undergo education. We all need to be given the same opportunity so that when we pursue with our education, when we pursue with our duties, we feel that we are all equal with men. So as organization, as ActionAid has been taking or sensitizing the community, we have been able to be seen as equal like any other human being. Yes.
Right, many thanks, Caroline, for those sentiments. And before we take a break, just crossing over to Haji Mwakio, we talk about a holistic and multi-sectoral approach to addressing community issues and challenges. What's your assessment of how the environment is looking like, Haji?
The environment is improving because for the last 1 year, in collaboration with ActionAid and FAO in terms of land, we had the Women Land Rights sectoral platform, which has enabled to improve that environment on issues of land, and also working with other stakeholders in issues of economic empowerment and mining. The situation has also improved in this area.
Right, and Haji, still on that same subject, of course, there is the issue of the accessibility of resources at the grassroots. And we know that there have been a bit of challenges from the administrative level at the national government. But how would you feel the trickle down has been to the community?
It's been a challenge because the trickling down has not been reaching the communities properly and on the right time. There are challenges of revenue or supporting activities which actually are from the communities themselves. Priorities have been wrong at times, and we've seen situations where members of the public, especially in the public participation forums, had proposed a different project, but what is coming up to be implemented in the ground is not the same. We've had challenges, for example, in various legislations which have been passed by our constitution, for example, the Mining Act, whereby since being passed in the 2016, the national government was supposed to disembark 20% to the county governments and 10% to the communities area. Nothing has been done to date. So you can imagine from 2016 to date, nothing has been brought to the communities. And yet, for example, issues of extractive are still on. So it leaves the communities down here suffering, and yet their resources are being exploited without them benefiting. So this is also quite a big challenge. Thank you.
All right, and now before we take a break, let me just cross over to Susan, who's with me in studio. Susan, there are questions online coming about regarding what are you doing as far as building of human capital is concerned. I know you might have touched on some of these issues, but maybe just speak to that particular matter of programs towards human capital development.
Yeah, we are focusing on the young people. And number one, we know that there are legislations that have been put in place to ensure that the young people are employable in this nation and knowing their population. And as ActionAid, we work with the young people to ensure that they are able to first and foremost understand the provisions that have been put within the current legislations that would enable them secure employment, would enable them secure entrepreneurship and opportunities for livelihoods. However, we know the challenges that are faced, that we have good policies in place, but the challenge is usually actualizing them. And so for ActionAid, we ensure that we bring the young people together, and we also identify the rights holders, the duty bearers who are meant to ensure that these legislations are actually operationalized through policies, through procedures, through guidelines that enable the young people to engage. We are also focusing on social entrepreneurship, where the young people are able to build their capacity, because we say employment is not everything. But overall, we also look at the community and its resources and build and enable them to be able to utilize their resources that are around them to be able to make a livelihood. But if I may ask, if you allow me, I just want to speak on also the importance of leadership. That when all these things are done and the leadership does not bring on board the young people, the women on the table, however much we try, we will always find the challenges being faced because their voices are not on the table, They are not part of the decisions that are being made. And so if we continue making decisions for people who can actually make decisions for themselves, then we end up still violating their rights and we end up exerting power over them. Hence, we fail in many of the processes that we undertake, both as a nation, both as county government, and both as institutions that exist to enhance our human capital. Yeah.
Right, now that point by Susan Otieno takes us to a short break. Remember, when you come back for the tail leg of this conversation, we'll be sampling a lot more of your views in terms of the subject we are discussing of mobilizing capital to drive community development and economic transformation. Don't touch that dial.
Celebrate Mashujaa Day with Royal Mabati. We have glossy profiles at Kenya shillings 370, tiles profiles from Kenya shillings 550 countrywide, and Royal Aluzinc startup pricing at 290 for hardwares. We also have light gauge steel and stone coated, which is fireproof, resistance to harsh weather and conditions like rain and termites. Cheaper compared to timber and durable to serve generations to generations. Call us today to make your order. Free delivery countrywide with Lipa Pole Pole payment option available.
With the Stay Soft refill, saving money is as easy as snip, pour, mix with water and shake. Stay Soft refill. It's 2 liters of Stay Soft for up to 30% less.
For a better tomorrow, don't forget to do the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate every night.
Smile through your day with a fresh breath and strong teeth.
There's no debate. Home is best. If you must pay for deliveries, use your NCBA debit card. Stay home. Stay safe.
From far with you. I even gifted you a magnificent house. Rosa, it's the thought that counts. Please help me.
When it comes to fever, you need to be both. Panadol Baby and Infant starts to work on fever in 15 minutes and is gentle on the tummy. Panadol Baby and Infant, tough on fever, gentle on your child.
Every time Gran arrives, she always has a small reward for her.
I made this for you today.
Ah, thank you, my baby. It's so beautiful.
Wow!
She's happy, and I trust it because it's made with milk and other carefully controlled ingredients without any colorings or preservatives. Care has been taken to make it. I love to see her happy because it meets her taste and fantasy. Kinder Joy, my trust, their joy.
Ajali katika sekta ya bodaboda zinaendelea kuongezeka kila siku. Chanuka na Bodaboda Insurance imeletwa kwako na Chanuka Fintech wakishirikiana na Credit Bank na kuwezeshwa na M-Pesa. Kujisajili kwa Chanuka na Bodaboda Insurance, bonyeza *277#, weka shilingi 200 kila siku kwa siku 10, alafu ufuatilie na shilingi 50 kila siku kwa miezi 6, au ufuatilie na shilingi 300 kila Friday kwa miezi 6. Piga simu kwa nambari 0711082627 au tuma ujumbe mfupi kwa 40438.
Kazi ni simple, si ndio? Umeona ring yangu?
Ring gani?
Ni za gold, pure gold. Si zile vitu za 20 bob zenye mnanuanga huko.
Madam sijaiba kitu yote maisha yangu.
Oh, so umeanza uwizi hapa kwangu Nataka kuangalia bagi yako.
Sijachukua kitu yote madam.
Vitu zinapotea kwa nyumba, kwa hivyo ni muhimu tukiangalia kama watu wanaiba.
Anachikile shop iko pale hivi ya M-Pesa, karibu na kwa Rasta. Mimi ndio shop atatuchapelia usiku. Hizi ni nini sasa?
Are you looking to settle your family in an affordable, clean and serene environment? Get your value-added plot at only 1.295 million shillings. We also have flexible payment options of up to 12 months. Call us today on 0790 300 300.
Get an 8-acre prime residential plot with soil merchants in Kisamis along Magadi Road at 148,000 Kenya shillings for cash buyers or 195,000 Kenya shillings for installment buyers. Come to our open day on 17th October.
Welcome back to this special edition of Business Redefined. As you might have noticed, we have more time tonight, and much to our delight, and we are focusing on mobilizing global capital to drive community development and economic transformation. And of course, we're having this conversation with Action Aid. And just to quickly take some of your views, to bring it to Susan, who's with me in studio, at Geoffrey Njenga is asking, we should have a conversation about development based on shared values between corporates and the community. And I think the implication here is that sometimes corporates come with the best intentions, but they don't come having shared the values of the community. What can you say about this, Susan?
Thank you. To be able to build shared values between corporates and communities, it requires a high level of consultations and engagement in every step. And for this reason, that's why you find organizations like Action Aid exist, to be able to provide that platform for corporates that would want to engage with communities. We are currently in 14 counties, and if a corporate is to work with communities at the counties, we have already built the platform. We've built mechanisms that corporates can easily get to engage with the communities. We do not act as intermediaries. For us, it's just to empower the communities. And so any corporate that is able to engage with communities, like for Action Aid, we work with Safaricom Foundation. We've worked with many other corporates that I could mention. And in this approach, we bring on board the community mobilization processes that enable us to bring them on board, the community on board, in terms of decision-making, identification of activities, and also programs that would change their lives. And in so doing, it also works well for the corporates because they are also able to achieve the objectives that they set out through the interventions. Be it investment in the communities, yes, be it corporate social responsibility, which can only be pursued through effective partnerships. And that's why we embrace partnerships as an organization.
Okay, very quickly, Lorraine, crossing over to you, the same subject of development based on shared values between corporates and communities, and how the legacy effects normally impact the community. What are your thoughts on this, Lorraine?
Thank you very much. Reflecting about this, and with the practice of Action Aid International Kenya, we feel that it is important to bring on board, and I use this as an opportunity to make an appeal for further partnerships. We are here showcasing partners whom we are already working with, and you are there asking yourself that just how can I partner, how can I get involved, and having shared values with other people who are not necessarily in my vicinity. But then you have this opportunity because an Action Aid will partner with individuals through individual giving, will also partner through what you've had Susan mentioned, institutional donors, and also will partner with much more corporates, etc. So if you're there, then it is an appeal to you that there is a way that you can also partner with all these groups of people from those avenues, and we are able to reach out to many more people within Kenya and in the different counties of this country. Thank you.
Thanks, Lorraine. Celestine, kuna wengi katika mitandao ambao wanauliza kwa nini hatugusi swala la ukosefu wa ajira, haswa jinsi linavyoathiri wanawake katika nchi hii. Maoni yako ni yapi kuhusu swala hili la ukosefu wa ajira?
Katika ukosefu wa ajira tunaona hasa wamama wengi hawana ubaguzi ya wanawake kutengwa, na wasie imeanza tu hivi. Mambo ya kutengwa wanawake waliachwa kutoka zamani kulingana na mila na desturi ya kuwa anasema tu mwanamke yako tu kwa kuonekana na sio kusikizwa, lakini ambavyo sivyo. Na tunashukuru tu shirika letu la ActionAid vile ambavyo lituwezesha mambo ya biashara, mambo ya ukulima, mambo ya ufugaji wa kuku, mambo ya kuingia hata kila ofisi maduty bearers wote. Kwa hivyo tunaona ni swala hilo la mama kudharaulika ama kudharaulishwa ndio maana hakuna ajira, na katika hali hizi za kukosa ajira ndio tunaona dhuluma nyingi zimezidi, hasa hata kwa vijana wetu, kwa hasa wakati huu wa corona ambao ajira ndio hakuna. Tumepata wasichana wengi tu huku kwetu Mombasa region, tumepata wasichana wengi ambao wamenajisiwa, ambao wamebakwa, na wale ambao hata ni wanafunzi wenye watatakana kurudi kwa shule, wengi watarudi kwa shule kwa sababu ya mimba za mapema. Naweza kusema tu 9,000 ya watoto wasichana ambao waliweza kupata mimba. Hasa hata hatujui huko mbeleni tunapoteza kizazi cha wasichana ambao wangekuja kuwa wafanyaji kazi ambao wangepata kazi na kusaidia community.
Celeste, nikukatizie tu hapo ni crossover to Sophia on the same subject of unemployment, particularly the extent to which it affects women in the country. What are your thoughts and what do you think can be done about this, Sophia?
Okay, on my thoughts, sorry, I was the technical issues, but I'm back.
Understood.
When we talk about economic empowerment about the government, we have these kids on the government, like the Women Fund, the Youth Fund, the GAF, which is on the kitty, which is in the Women Rep office. Let it be a fund which women can access, because and the government should put into consideration those women from the grassroots level, because many women do not understand what the forms which are in English to fill the forms. So can it be a standardized thing or be translated to Kiswahili, where they can be able to fill the forms and be able to apply for the funds. On the other side, also we say the empowerment, and this goes to ActionAid. We say thank you so much, because it has enabled us to make from two efforts to reach as many women as possible, and we do empower them on how they can involve in themselves in economical issues.
Right, and crossing over to Caroline on the same subject, clearly this matter is eliciting so much reaction online as far as youth and particularly unemployment facing women is concerned. Caroline, what are your thoughts about this? Caroline, can you hear me? I'm asking for your thoughts regarding the issue of unemployment facing women in particular. What do you think can be done about this? I think we're having a challenge communicating with Caroline, but let me just cross over to Susan here in studio with me. Susan, we discussed the issue of funding earlier and Lorina's touched on it again. Mobilizing a lot of the resources from the external environment clearly presents a challenge in an environment like COVID-19. What's the way forward as far as you're concerned?
First, I would want to say that ActionAid over the years, having begun in this country from 1972, has always been supported by individuals in the north who give as little as $10 a month. Many of them are teachers, many of them are doing basic jobs and working in the same case where you'd find a majority of the population in Kenya. And we are saying that look at COVID-19 and the global impact, for instance. This is equally an opportunity for Kenyans to be able to give 500 shillings, give 1,000 shillings. That if you give 500 shillings, a girl is secured of having a 5-month provision of sanitary towels, and therefore she will be in school for 5 months, non-stop, without missing 4 days a month. If you gave 1,000 shillings per month for 5 months, it's 5,000. A woman back in Kishushe is able to utilize that to set up a small business that would then transform the community. So what we are saying is that we are calling upon individual Kenyans. Anything small that you can give to development goes a long way, because you're changing a generation, you're rewriting a legacy. And this is what we would want to let Kenyans know. The way the North have given, we may not have them giving. The governments are changing and coming in with different modalities that are affecting even the aid commitment that they had made. And so it means we come back home and say, anyone can give however little. It will be a pool. You're not giving to benefit ActionAid, but you're giving to benefit Kenya. And so we are saying, give and change lives for good.
Let me hold on that, Susan, and cross over to Haji. Haji, very briefly, one of the comments online at Kim Soto on Twitter is saying that it's important we discuss the issue of technical skill transfer to the youth, particularly in areas like Isiolo. What are your thoughts around this as far as technical skills transfer to the immediate community is concerned, Haji? Very briefly.
I'm not clear. You can you please beg your pardon? It's not clear, please.
There's a gentleman on Twitter asking, as far as the issue of technical skills transfer to the communities is concerned, what is being done about this from your level at ActionAid as a partner to it?
Thank you very much. ActionAid has helped transfer skills on issues of agriculture and mining. Here we've had farmers at grassroots level being built capacities on the smart farming approach. They've been built capacities in issues of how to develop their farms. We've also had artisanal miners being supported to be built capacities on prospecting and doing mining. So these are some of the skills which have already been put in place to help communities at that.
All right, Haji, we shall leave it at that. But let me just take some wrapping up thoughts here from Lorraine. Crossing over to you, the subject of women representation has been extremely emotive in the recent past in this country, and we're just keen to understand, given the level to which you give the issues of women's rights priority at ActionAid, what do you think is the way forward as a country from a policy level?
Well, from a policy level, it is important that every legislation that is in place that has been allowed, or can I say has been passed, has to not only be implemented but has to be seen as representative across board. And so matters women's rights, matters on equality, on matters that will safeguard the interests of women across the country, that we need not turn the progress we have made on it by overlooking the very context we are in. So a way to move forward is to not only implement the legislations that are particularly set out on the same, but also to bring to empower the very women whom we work with across the counties to be sensitive of what it is which has been brought to them, because without them being involved and knowledgeable of the same, then some of those rights and gains can be lost. So it cuts both ways, not only from legislation but also in practice across the communities.
Great points there, Lorraine. Just crossing over to Susan with the same question really. As far as this issue of women representation is concerned, what do you think is the way forward for us as a country?
Yeah, the Constitution of Kenya has a provision, Article 27(8), that provides that in whatever elective or appointive position, we need to ensure that no more than 2/3 gender occupies. Not more than 2/3 of the seats are occupied by one gender. And so with this article, as ActionAid, we embarked on a green amendment campaign, because we believed that the constitutional provision needs to be honored, needs to be executed. But the challenge that we saw was that there was no formula of operationalizing this. We believe if the state takes it seriously and operationalizes, we will have adequate number of women in places of leadership, and that will enable women to occupy places of decision making, to participate effectively, to participate meaningfully. So it's more of a formula, and the processes that we've undertaken as an organization are processes that we are ready and willing to partner up to, including the governments and the county governments, to see how we can actualize this and to ensure that when we have more women in leadership, then the change that we are seeking, which is to challenge the unequal power and also to ensure that rights are actualized, will be achieved in this nation faster than we are seeing it at the moment.
Right, and that point by Susan takes us to the close of our conversation tonight, where we have been speaking to Action Aid on matters regarding community development, economic transformation through mobilization of capital, not just from external sources but also domestic. And of course the challenge has been thrown to us as Kenyans to be able to support such initiatives and to ensure that we have a positive impact which has a trickle-down effect to the very bottom of the economic pyramid. Many thanks to our panelists, Action Aid and its partners, who have been part of this conversation, giving us insight, whether it's women's rights or land rights, as well as the challenge of youth unemployment, particularly skewed in the focus of women, and to all those who have given their views online regarding this conversation. We truly appreciate. Let's do this again next week, same place, same time, on a very different subject on Business Redefined.
That is what this could be. Hii yote ni 5 acres. We are going to build the greenhouse for you, sell the produce, na pia tutagawana faida. 75%, 25%.
You mean 75% for me?
Sign hapa kwanza. First year yield itakuwa ni 67%. Na kuna taxes.
You mean tax?
Sign hapa na hapa. Additionally, kuna 2% facilitation fee na warehouse charges. Sign hapa ya mwisho.
And this is a short deal.
Completely transparent.
Okay.
If only all things in life were as honest as Airtel's amazing data. Get 500 MB free daily, 3.5 GB free weekly, and 15 GB free monthly with every bundle purchase. Not just for a few, but for every one of you. Switch to Airtel and save. The honest network.
In Kenya, 1 in 2 children suffer from cavities. Brushing with Pepsodent removes bacteria and repairs tiny holes before they become cavities. Because every smile matters.
Geisha aloe vera and honey, made with the goodness of aloe vera to calm and refresh your skin.
Be strong and last long.
Are you looking to study abroad? Options Education Agency is here for you. With over a decade of experience in applications to reputable Australian and UK universities, we take pride in our services, professional counseling, visa applications, airport pickups, and accommodation arrangements. Visit our offices in Nairobi, the Mall Westlands, first floor, or call us on 0724 333 222. Options Education Agency, where your journey begins.
Alupe University College, continuous online registration of first years for 2020-2021 ongoing. Online digital teaching is on. Final end year examinations for continuing students starts 12th October 2020.
We deserve more girls. Money cash. Money cash. No, no, money cash. We need a big change in our lives. Do you think this is it, girls? No. Let them know. Let them know irritation. Let them know. Let them know irritation. We
deserve more. Moped is now in Kenya and more than 40 countries. With its nylon-free surface, new Moped has unique softness and up to 100% protection. Your skin will love it.
This is NTV.
Tonight, Bungoma County is in the throes of a COVID-19 flare-up, and as the governor and top county officials are taken ill, the battle is not with the pandemic. Also tonight, shields down, guard down. But is the worst of the first COVID-19 wave behind us?
We are on the lower curve of the first wave, but we have not passed the first wave per se for COVID-19.
Plus, a flood of concerns for schools in Baringo.
There is no way you would have been able to make such consequential decisions when we all knew that the schools were temporarily closed.
The alarm bells ringing in schools as they settle in for the second term. And also tonight, Kapseret MP Oscar Sudi has another date with the authorities. What's it about this time?
Wananiuliza eti kuna shamba niliuzia kampuni moja inataka kujenga hospitali. Na kulingana na mimi, that's a private business.
Oya ni aje, mimi Jonte Fresh. Mimi ndio nimetambulika hii Gikomba yote sekta ya manguo. Jumio transform nguo ordinary za mtush zenye ziuka mna hii harufu ya bale into the freshest igi koshi yote. Siri ni hii real mpya ya pink. Na kushow mtush zinang'ara kung'ara kushinda kamera. So clean, so fresh. Ma customer unaisana na hii story. Ninatumia aerial touch of down mpya tu.
All day, we expect our mouth to do all kinds of things. That is why it needs all-round protection. New Oral-B Pro Health Toothpaste. Its advanced technology helps prevent both tooth holes and gum problems that can lead to tooth loss. It strengthens your teeth, giving them all-round protection. Because your mouth is doing more than you think. New Oral-B Pro Health. All-round protection for your whole mouth.
Get fresh, gotta get fresh. Down is a boom boom pow, down is boom boom pow. Smells baya na uchafuzi na zidi na improve downy. Protect nguo zangu na nukia niko safi. Lazima niwe fresh na down is boom boom pow. Boom boom pow, down is new boom boom pow. Smells zote na zi boom boom pow. Powerful freshness, down is boom boom pow. Nani 15 bob too?
Last week, I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick.
Brilliant Kipchoge from Mohamed Salah.
Been chopping trees. I done something new for this fight. Bad. I'm gonna show you how great I am.
Do more to protect yourself and family from viruses that remain on the clothes. Separate laundry that has been exposed and do not shake to minimize the possibility of dispersing the virus through the air. Soaking your laundry in water and hand washing powder does more to kill germs than just a normal wash. After washing, dry your clothes in direct sunlight.
They say we do the expected. We say we're more than you expect. Sunlight, more than you expect.
I got my first job basically from the airport. That time they were commissioning the Mall of Emirates.
He is part of the works in the ever-changing Dubai skyline. In Senegal, the story of Kenyan athlete turned financial expert Felix Butit. On Kenya to the World,
we are planting close to 3 million plants every week.
The hunger for Kenya's frozen avocados. And on My Magical Kenya, my 3-hour circuit around Lake Turkana.
It's one platform where everybody has a voice.
If we don't have jobs, if we don't have money, if we're not, if our business...
Hosted by the King of Wit.
Do you know the Bible to that much detail? Ama hizi ni zile tu zinaendanishana na dhambi zenye unajua.
It's basically everybody's show.
Vitamin C ni cassava, shauri ya nguvu. Vitamin D ni dania.
Na chakula anaimba. I have decided.
The Wicked Edition with Dr. King Ori and the Guesswork CEO, Kenya Jui.
The Kisumu County Assembly specializes in stimulants, to be specific, concentrated coffee.
Where humor meets sense.
Moses Kuria alinitwanga hapa serious.
Soldiers wanakuanga wameka polisi hivi. Mbona nyinyi mkimbiangi mkituona?
The Wicked Edition. Every Friday at 7:30 p.m. only on NTV.
Kazi ni simu, tusindio? Umeona ring yangu?
Ring gani?
Ni za gold, pure gold. Si zile vitu za 20 bob zenye mnanuanga huko.
Madam sijaiba kitu yote maisha yangu.
Oh, so umeanza wizi hapa kwangu Nataka kuangalia bagi yako.
Sijachukua kitu yote madam.
Vitu zinapotea kwa nyumba, kwa hivyo ni muhimu tukiangalia kama watu wanaiba.
Anachikile shop iko pale hivi ya M-Pesa, karibu na kwa Rasta. Ndio shop atatuchapelia usiku.
Hizi ni nini sasa?
Are you looking to settle your family in an affordable, clean and serene environment? Get your value-added plot at only 1.295 million shillings. We also have flexible payment options of up to 12 months. Call us today on 0790 300 300.
Wagwan each and every Saturday mazee tukutane pale Nation FM kama kawaida 96.3 for nothing but good vibes and good reggae music.
Kama kawaida, you know how we do it, tunakupatia mambo moto story moto concerning our reggae fraternity pale kwenye Jammed On Vibe. We're giving you all the link ups of our 254 reggae artists and also Jamaican artists.
And of course, kama kawa mazee, catch me live on the decks mazee nikiwapikia reggae noma sana all the way from Kingston, Jamaica mpaka 254 Nairobi City. Send in your request pale kwenye hashtag #JamdownKE. Yeah, they call me DJ Mo, the roughest and the toughest.
And I, the Caribbean Queen, Miss Kasiwa.
Call me the energy god, MC Jawochi. Don't you go nowhere.
Cause this
is NTV Jam Down.
Welcome to Pishi Home Chef. Oh, just perfect.
We're gonna be cooking breakfast.
Making chicken mishikaki, carbonara.
And I'm so happy to be on this show.
Most people think I can't do cooking. I forgot onions.
So I have to call her, literally to call her and ask her and say your recipe.
Pishi ndio hii.
Check out at Pishi254.
We are Nation, Africa's independent media brand. We are committed to empowering all Africans, from the young to the old, from the curious to the educated, and from the heart of the cities to the rural areas. We are Nation. Join us, because if you want to get far, you do it together. Nation. Empower Africa.
Dr. Rabbit, is that you?
Yes, it is!
Wow!
I see you're all ready for bed.
I'm supposed to brush my teeth.
That's right! You're really becoming a brushing pro!
Thanks. I have a good teacher.
I know you've probably been hearing a lot about this new coronavirus, or COVID-19 as it's properly called. There is so much information out there, and there are so many rumors going around that sometimes it's hard to know what to believe. This is especially true with today's technologies like the internet and WhatsApp, where untrue information can spread like wildfire. Remember, whether it's something you're hearing from other kids or something you've seen on the internet, you need to first think critically and judge whether the information seems reliable before you believe it. And make sure to really check if it's reliable before you share it with others. This can be hard to do, but my friends, the Ubongo Kids and Uncle T, have got a song to help you out.
Information's not always true, so kids, you gotta know what to do. You gotta think before you believe something you read or hear or see. Yes, information is not always true, so kids, you gotta know what to do. You gotta think before you believe something you read or hear or see. I'm telling you, it's not easy to know what you should believe, but start by asking yourself these questions, cause it can help.
Who did the information come from? Who? Think about it. Do we trust them? Why? Why did they write it? Why was the information shared to be helpful or nice? Who did the information come from? Who? Think about it. Do we trust them? Why? Why did they write it? Why was the information shared to be helpful or nice?
If you've got questions about the COVID-19 coronavirus, ask an adult to help you look it up from a trusted source. The World Health Organization, or WHO, is a great place to start. They've even got a Mythbusters page where they talk about common rumors and whether or not they're true. For information specific to your country, look for announcements and information shared by your Ministry of Health. In the meantime, remember to wash your hands regularly with soap and water for at least 20 seconds and try not to touch your eyes, nose, or mouth. See you next time, kids! Toodaloo!
Who did the information come from? Who? Think about it. Do we trust them? Why? Why did they write it? Why was the information shared to be helpful or nice?
Sensitivity pain fast with Sensodyne Rapid Action for clinically proven relief in 60 seconds.
It looks like Lushan is sticking her nose into things that are none of her business.
This isn't the right time.
He was always after me and everything was just going great until Marta got in the way, just as she did with your father.
If there's anything that concerns my children, you have to tell me about it. Do you understand? Excuse me for interfering, but if Luciana But still, she doesn't have any right to keep from me anything that has to do with my children. Yes, but...
I don't even want to think about how much trouble she's in.
Luciana, the fact that I can't be with you doesn't mean that I can just forget everything I feel for you.
Are you alright, Madam Lillian? Is anything wrong? It's nothing you can fix. Nobody has the cure for love problems.
Along Came Love, in association with Blue Band Peanut Butter.
Beautiful and unstoppable, that's who I am. Get your dancing shoes on and get your dancing moves on, because this week on TED Republic from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. we are showing you a brand new TikTok challenge and you need to get on it. But first, follow @SkyGirlsKE on Instagram for more information on that. And this Saturday we have amazing guests joining us to show us how the TikTok dance challenge for SkyGirlsKE is done. My head up high and I'll be unstoppable. Bringing you nothing but vibes and vibes and vibes. Mtakula vibes, eh? When I play by my own rules.
Team Republic in association with Sky Girls Kenya.
You can be a Sky Girl too. Just go to skygirlske.com and take the pledge. Follow up on Instagram and Facebook @skygirlske.
Alupe University College in Busia County, a science-oriented university with schools of health sciences, science, education and social sciences, and business and economics and human resource development, all incorporated under the science, technology, engineering, arts and mathematics STEAM approach. Continuous online registration of first years for 2020-2021 ongoing. Online digital teaching is on. Final end year examinations for continuing students starts 12th October 2020. Blended learning for academic year 2020-2021 starts on 9th November 2020 for the first years and 17th November 2020 for continuing students. Visit our website www.auc.ac.ke or call 0722-345-603 or 0724-400-189. Alupe University, the bastion of knowledge.
Here's your story, let's begin. The water's fine, come on, dive in. The future's here, it's right before your eyes. Step by step, you're on your way. Welcome to a brighter day. Don't you know it feels good to be alive? You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out.
Je, maumivu ya kichwa na kukosesha amani? Kaluma Strong hutuliza maumivu ya kichwa, maumivu ya mwili na hata huondoa joto jingi mwilini. Kaluma Strong ina aspirin kama kiungo. Maumivu yakizidi, muone daktari.
Enjoy as low as 0.8% interest at Safaricom Sacco and access up to 5 times your deposit. Repayable within 72 months. With mortgage facilities, repayable within 25 years. Access instant loans on our USSD by dialing *345# and Surf Siri app. Talk to an agent while applying for a loan on iConnect@safaricomsacco.com. Safaricom Sacco, empowering you.
The new Maisha Aluzinc Mabati from Maisha Mabati Limited. For the first time in Kenya, a roofing product that combines aesthetics with proven resilience. Its unique combination of aluminium and zinc gives it a 5 times longer lifespan than normal Mabati, thanks to the excellent state-of-the-art mill. It has 20 years lifespan, it's easy to install, it's flexible and durable, it stands up to severe weather conditions, has good abrasion and rust resistance, it's affordable and is approved by the Kenya Bureau of Standards and is available countrywide. It can be used for all applications. Always insist on Maisha Aluzinc Mabati, a product of Maisha Mabati Rolling Mills, Ruiru.
This is NTV.
It's the top of the hour. Actually, I lie. It's a couple of minutes to the top of the hour, but you're just in time for the news bulletin of the day. And I promise whatever we bring you will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You can trust me on that, even though I don't have a Bible on hand. And yes, we have a lot on the COVID-19 situation, as well as how the education system is working to accommodate the back to school that was announced by the Ministry of Education last week. And many counties are struggling to make this happen. And speaking of counties, the spread of this particular virus is being felt and is more evident there, as you're about to find out.
Tonight, Bungoma County is in the throes of a COVID-19 flare-up. And as the governor and top county officials are taken ill, the battle is not with the pandemic.
Hiyo pesa mumeembeso, Mungu anarudisha ili wachape wenyewe.
Also tonight, shields down, guard down. But is the worst of the first COVID-19 wave behind us?
We are on the lower curve of the first wave, but we have not passed the first wave per se for COVID-19.
Plus, a flood of concerns for schools in Baringo.
There is no way you would have been able to make such consequential decisions when we all knew that the schools were temporarily closed.
The alarm bells ringing in schools as they settle in for the second term. And also tonight, Kapseret MP Oscar Sudi has another date with the authorities. What's it about this time?
Wananiuliza eti kuna shamba niliuzia kampuni moja inataka kujenga hospitali. Na kulingana na mimi, that's a private business.
NTV Tonight with Mark Masai.
Not alone tonight, backed by a whole team. David Agondoa is our sign language interpreter. And to our top story, the Bungoma County Assembly has suspended operations for 14 days following reports that Governor Wycliffe Wangamati and officials in his office have tested positive for COVID-19. Another 100 inmates have also tested positive at the Bungoma GK prison. Bridget Singana starts us off.
News of Bungoma Governor Wycliffe Wangamati testing positive for coronavirus alongside two other officials has sent the county assembly into a frenzy, suspending all activities at the county parliament with immediate effect.
The speaker have been tested, a majority has been tested, and the other 100 people are going to come forward for testing. It's basically voluntary, but to lead by example, we must have come here personally to lead. Basically, it's good for this test of COVID-19.
Kwanza executive ndio imepatikana na corona. Wafunge kule executive wakuwe na skeletal staff. Kwa ofisi wawaje hata watu wawili peke yake. Kuliko kuchangamana na watu wanakimbia hapa adilimoto mashinani na wako na corona wanaambukiza watu kila siku usiku na mchana.
This development eliciting sharp criticism from some members of the assembly over the county's handling of the pandemic. Allegations of misappropriation of some 6.9 million shillings in purchasing COVID-19 preventive equipment rocked the county leadership in April.
Last time I checked, hii kaunti ilipewa milioni 213. But sisi tukiangalia hii pesa hatujui inafanya kazi gani. Na hata maybe ni Mungu wako anarudisha kiboko kwa sababu hiyo pesa mumeembeso.
And there's more alarming news from the county. At least 100 prisoners at the Bungoma GK prison have tested positive for COVID-19. 9 of the patients are said to be at large, while the rest are receiving treatment at the Webuye Referral Hospital. The county government is now appealing for assistance in tracing the 9. Bridget Ngana, NTV.
From Bungoma, let's have a countrywide outlook on the latest update that we got on the COVID-19 situation in Kenya. And these are not just numbers, but lives that have been affected. Now, in the latest round of testing, 2,592 samples, there were 318 that turned out positive for coronavirus. This takes up the caseload to over 41,900. The number of those who have recovered so far are now 31,340, beg your pardon, after 243 were declared COVID-19 free. 10 more patients have unfortunately succumbed to the virus. 787 lives so far have been lost to the disease. Our condolences to the families and friends of those affected. Now, we are in the 7th month of tracking the coronavirus infections in Kenya, and at the moment, the samples tested have been on a downward trend. But the number confirmed is growing, especially at the county level, as we've just seen in Bungoma with Bridget's story, after the easing of restrictions. Now, even though these are stats, at least that's what we're calling them tonight, they are a reflection of the impact the virus has had since March. Now, we start there, where in the month of March, we had at least 712 samples tested, and from this, there were 9 positive cases or patients. Now, today we are introducing the positivity rate, and for March, it was 1.26%. And this, as the name suggests, is a percentage of patients who have turned out positive from a sample size. It is an entirely different story, as you're about to see here in April, with the samples tested within that month over 13,800, and with this 275 confirmed positive, raising the positivity rate to close to 2%. Now, there is a steady incline in the month of May in terms of those samples that have been tested, as well as the positive cases and the positivity rate. That is in May and in June, where we had at least 4,404 patients confirmed within that month. But let's now speed up to the month of July. Now, there was a particular peak here in terms of the positivity rate based on the samples that were tested, 124,000 at least, and the positive cases over 13,300. Now, in August and September, we see a somewhat dip or decline in a positivity rate right here, not the positive cases, because the capacity, it would have seemed, of testing was going down. We see now the samples tested by the end of September were at least 93,540. Now, by the end of September, there were over 500,000 tests carried out cumulatively, and over 37,100 positive patients, which translates to 7.25 positivity rate. And with this graphical illustration, and with the white line there representing the positivity rate, the red one positive cases, and the blue one with samples tested, we see the point where it peaked. And in July there, as we've just seen in the context of the month of July, 10.7%. And between July and August, we see a somewhat sort of plateau in terms of the positive cases confirmed, peaking there at 13,565 within one of those months, and the samples tested, at least the highest number going there within around August, the month of August, 149,000 at least being tested. And with this, the experts would tell you that we're not out of the red. Speaking of which, epidemiologists and public health officials are warning that Kenya is not out of the woods. Gina Kirori has been speaking to a virologist who says risks posed by the gradual reopening of the economy may spur another surge in infections.
Numbers have been of immeasurable value during the COVID-19 pandemic, an indicator on the extent of infection in any given jurisdiction. As the coronavirus cases began to read lower than the usual triple digits, most Kenyans took comfort in the fact that the first wave had passed. Now, if you are among this group of people, then you are sadly mistaken. Virologists say it is too close to call and too early to celebrate.
We are on the lower curve of the first wave, but we have not passed the first wave per se for COVID-19. If we had passed the first wave, we'd be seeing like 5 cases, 10 cases in Kenya. but we are still seeing 600, 400 cases being reported daily by the Ministry of Health.
Kenya has been cautiously easing public health restrictions and reopening key sectors of the economy. But a recent trend in new infections shows a steady rise weeks into the semblance of normalcy. This is as a result of various factors, according to virologists.
Number one is what we are called super spreader events. Now, if you look at recently, you have seen in our politicians have been going to rallies where you find thousands of people gathering. You know, most of them are not wearing masks. Social distance is removed. So that is one kind of characteristics that would actually lead to second wave.
The World Health Organization is also warning that the virus caseload across the world may be higher than reported due to shortcomings in testing and asymptomatic cases considered silent spreaders.
In most countries, less than 10% of the population have been infected with the COVID-19 virus. Letting the virus circulate unchecked therefore means allowing unnecessary infections, suffering, and death.
Public health officials agree that the virus may be with us longer.
Majority of the people that it infects actually do recover without even getting, serious disease. So the virus is learning to live with human beings. So the virus is going to be with us for a long time. So how are we going to live with it?
This remains the million-dollar question. Gina Kirori, NTV.
With more findings or evidence that this is something we will have to live with, this would have been a perfect time that the Universal Health Coverage Program would have been in effect. Have you heard of it? Maybe what I should be asking is whether you have felt the impact of one of the main agendas of the Jubilee government. What has become of President Uhuru Kenyatta's Universal Health Coverage Program? Pilot counties have suspended operations in the face of a major health crisis, and governors are complaining about low funding. Is the Big Four agenda item on its deathbed? On Team Coverage tomorrow, we will take a surgical look at the grand promise.
A resilient health system is basically universal health coverage.
Tuko hapa kuanzisha huu mradi wa kuhakikisha Wakenya wameweza kupatiwa huduma ya afya kwa bei nafuu.
We are now going to revert to the collection of charges in our hospitals.
The counties are seeing health services as a revenue source.
We can pay health workers, but we cannot pay for medicine throughout.
It is not business as usual. We are now behaving abnormally.
Kufika hospitali nikaona hakuna madaktari, ikabidi nikuje nitafute dawa ya kienyeji.
Anaachilia mzee hata hakuna first aid, na ni wakati wa corona, huwezi shika mtu.
Tulikuwa painful kwa barabara mbele ya watu.
That's tomorrow night. That the COVID-19 pandemic has exacerbated inequalities in the Kenyan education system is no secret. It all began with an ambitious e-learning program that isolated more than half the country's learner population, more so in rural and public schools. And with the phased resumption of learning activities, millions of learners across the country have returned to the same old, if not worse. Leila Mohammed reports that dilapidated facilities and lack of basics such as clean running water leave many at a greater risk.
The flooded schools of Busia County's Budalangi constituency, making resumption of classes here a tall order. Education authorities in the region say affected learners will be transferred to neighboring schools.
Hizo ni changamoto ambazo ziko, lakini tunazikabili kadri ya uwezo wetu. Na tunahakika kwamba watoto wote watapata nafasi ya kuendelea na masomo. Maafisa wa Wizara ya Afya wamefanya fumigation katika shule. Sana zile shule zilikuwa na flood victims, wamefanya disinfection.
At Wekeleha Primary School, a morning assembly session is underway under strict physical distancing guidelines, but an unsettling feeling has gripped the school. Key amenities and facilities have been destroyed.
Hivi vyo vina pose catastrophe kwa sababu jambo la kwanza, watoto hawa ni watoto ambao wamekomaa. Mahali wanaenda kule walimu hawawezi kuwaona. Yale ambayo yatatendeka huko hatuwezi kuyajua. Na tena Hiki choo kinaweza kuleta ugonjwa.
In Budalangi, such schools without functional toilets have been shut down for the moment.
Kwa hivyo hatuwezi kuweka watoto mahali ambapo hakuna vyoo. So tumewahamisha, wataenda kusomea Budalangi Primary School kwa muda.
In Kiambu, some schools are experiencing a different kind of challenge: shortage or lack of a precious commodity in the battle against the coronavirus, water.
Hizi mashule ambazo ni za public zinategemea na maji ya mvua. Ile wakati ile mvua imenyesha ndio wanapata hizo maji, wanaweka kwa tank. Tungetaka kuuliza serikali ya county na serikali kuu zihakikishe ya kwamba zimeleta maji kwa haya mashule zote.
At the Thika School for the Blind, pupils are returning for second term, but for kids living with disability, observing public health protocols may be a challenge.
Schools that run with special kids with special needs are need to be particularly aware and careful so that they are able to protect the children as they go back to school. A lot of parents with kids with special needs have really struggled.
We have about 4 class 8 boys and 3 class 8 girls and 4 grade 4 students. So the turn-up is not very good.
But the challenges facing the education sector extend beyond infrastructure.
As a country, we've been discussing the digital learning program from 2013. This is one lesson we must take home, that our children suffered because we didn't really implement the digital learning program in its entirety.
This process is going to be highly multi-sectoral if it has to be successful, because you need to have curriculum developers, KICD. You need to have NEC, which should be able to plan and undertake a rapid assessment of where our children are in terms of what they have learned.
Leila Mohammed, NTV.
Meanwhile, a significant number of the learner population, I should say, in Baringo County have yet to report back to school. Environmental factors, insecurity and tough living conditions in the region are keeping learners away from classrooms as parents and authorities chart a way out of the crisis. Ruth Sarmoe is in Baringo for that report.
While education authorities are advising parents in Baringo County to transfer their children to available schools, logistical and safety concerns abound. Swelling lakes have submerged up to 17 schools in this region. Pupils of Nasukuro Primary School, for example, are expected to transfer to Kiserian Primary School, which is 8 kilometers from here. What's worse, the area is extremely insecure. Now, parents have opted to create a makeshift class for their children instead.
Tuombe wasasi tufiake kichaka ielekee ndio tupate distance yenye unaweza ona adui kwa mbali ndio upate kwenda.
Mahali wanakaa naona malisho watu wanalisha hapa hivi. Sasa insecurity pengine hata wale nini watakuja wale wakora wataingilia hata kupita msitu. Sasa hakuna mwenye anaona kama watoto wako hapo hivi.
A semi-arid region, accessing even the most basic of necessities can be a challenge in Baringo County. Some learners therefore depend on school feeding programs.
Ili ifutie hiyo idadi kamili ijae, lazima niwe na chakula yenye naweza lisha wao, wakule wawe na nguvu. Kuna wazazi wanafunzi wanalala bila kupata chakula. So hata asubuhi inabidi aende, wako na changamoto wanaenda kufua samaki. Hao watoto wadogo wanaweza kupata hii kanuu, unapata wameendesha, wanaenda kufua samaki. Kuna ready market. Sasa watoto wengi wako kazi ya samaki, kufua samaki.
These are some of the grade 4 pupils of Nasukuro Primary who have been forced to study in this makeshift class as they wait for the government to approve the construction of their new classes in the land that they have proposed. At Kailer Primary School, only one class 8 pupil has showed up for school today out of a population of 62 candidates. It is also feared that an ongoing circumcision exercise in which some 5,000 boys from the Ilchamus community are involved may suppress numbers further.
The other day we were doing their last words, their last blessing from the Wazee. And you know, when that bull is killed, the knife is open for everybody to be circumcised. But then we have talked to our parents and our chiefs are assisting us.
The Ministry of Education agrees that the situation is dire here.
We have agreed that we relook at the matrix of how we are placing our children so that we address the question of proximity for those who are day scholars. We address the question of capacity for those who are boarders.
The PS says government may have to step in to provide safety equipment. Ruth Sarmui, NTV.
And that perfect storm is nothing positive to it. And on a global note, there's something much worrying. Time for our break on NTV tonight. Take a look at these pictures of the Arctic that is warming faster than anyone would have predicted. The once intact ice shelves are disappearing, a stark reminder of the reality of global warming. There's no facet of Arctic life that remains untouched by the immensity of change here, except perhaps the eternal dance between light and darkness. The Arctic has, as we know it, a vast icy landscape where the reindeer roam, the polar bears feast, and waters teem with cod and seals will soon be frozen in our memories. That's a chilling fact right there. We'll be right back.
Last week, I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. Brilliant Kipchoge from Mohamed Salah. Been chopping trees. I done something new for this fight. Bad. I'm gonna show you how great I am.
Hello, Susan. Yes, you. Holding that pack. I know you've been avoiding me because in the past I've made you uncomfortable. Maybe even caused you pain. But I want you to know that I have changed. For you.
Hey, what is this?
You can love me again if you're willing to give me another chance. Meet me at aisle 4. Hey, Susan.
It's lactose free!
We know you love milk, and now there is milk that loves you. With Gold Crown lactose-free milk, you can enjoy the richness of natural cow's milk without any of the digestion discomfort. Gold Crown lactose-free milk that loves you.
For a better tomorrow, don't forget to do the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate every night.
Umewahi jichanganya ukanunua choko yako ikuwe alamu, alafu bwana yako akakuja jioni akakula hiyo alamu akaitengeneza kitoweo. Kuna karembo hapa kananiangalia kameshaka, kamecheka mpaka lipstick huko imeisha. Anacheka na mdomo ya chwati.
Our shelves are fully stocked and prices greatly discounted for you to make that quick and easy return to school. With thousands of back-to-school items, price cuts on your Chuo favorites, and points to score on your Naivas card. Back to school that's safe on your pocket. Naivas saves you money.
Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
The new Maisha Aluzinc Mabati from Maisha Mabati Limited. For the first time in Kenya, a roofing product that combines aesthetics with proven resilience. Its unique combination of aluminium and zinc gives it a 5 times longer lifespan than normal Mabati, thanks to the excellent state-of-the-art mill. It has 20 years lifespan, it's easy to install, it's flexible and durable. It stands up to severe weather conditions, has good abrasion and rust resistance, it's affordable and is approved by the Kenya Bureau of Standards and is available countrywide. It can be used for all applications, always insist on Maisha Aluzinc Mabati, a product of Maisha Mabati Rolling Mills, Ruiru.
Melissa? Mom, it's Dad's birthday today. I'm giving him a party just like he gives me.
Nothing makes a mother more proud than seeing her child growing up. But I know that as she learns to care for others, she'll face even more germs and the risk of illnesses.
That's why you need strong Dettol protection. Just 1 cup of Dettol protects your home and family from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Growing up needs Dettol protection.
The Dettol range is available on Jumia. Shop safely and conveniently today.
Kazi ni simple, si ndio? Umeona ring yangu?
Ring gani?
Ni za gold, pure gold. Si zile vitu za 20 bob zenye mnanuanga huko.
Madam sijaiba kitu yote maisha yangu.
Oh, so umeanza uwizi hapa kwangu Nataka kuangalia bagi yako.
Sijachukua kitu yote madam.
Vitu zinapotea kwa nyumba, kwa hivyo ni muhimu tukiangalia kama watu wanaiba.
Anachikilia shop iko pale hivi ya M-Pesa, karibu na kwa Rasta. Ndio shop atatuchapelea usiku. Hizi ni nini sasa?
Are you looking to settle your family in an affordable, clean and serene environment? Get your value-added plot at only 1.295 million shillings. We also have flexible payment options of up to 12 months. Call us today on 0790 300 300.
Welcome back. Kapsaret Member of Parliament Oscar Sudi spent the better part of the day at the Directorate of Criminal Investigations for questioning on how individuals and hospitals allegedly made away with millions of shillings from the National Hospital Insurance Fund through fake claims. Naoma Sampao was on that beat.
The lawmaker had been summoned to answer questions about his role in a scam involving the National Hospital Insurance Fund, in which 150 million shillings was irregularly spent. It is reported that the money was used to purchase assets belonging to the Member of Parliament. Police say the deal was orchestrated by a false claims syndicate within the fund. Sudi says he is not to blame.
Naniuliza eti kuna shamba niliuzia kampuni moja inataka kujenga hospitali, na kulingana na mimi that's a private business. Winning buyer, willing seller.
A source close to the investigation says a law firm received part of the money which they allegedly used to buy 2 cars for the Member of Parliament in exchange for a piece of land. Investigators tells NTV that they are looking into the legislature's connection to the loss of the money, if at all.
Wewe umekuja kununua shamba kwangu. Mimi nitanusa haje umetoa pesa upande gani ama pesa imetoka upande gani? Swali tu sijaelewa vizuri sana ni kwa nini ninauliza hiyo maswali na nilikuwa nauza shamba langu.
DCI says it will decide whether to press charges against the lawmaker based on available evidence.
Ile watatoa ndio itatuonesha ya kwamba ni siasa ama wanafanya kazi yao kwa kweli.
Naoma Sampao, NTV.
A High Court ruling last week requiring governors and members of county assembly who wish to run for president to resign 6 months before has sent county bosses into a panic. The ruling says there is an unbreakable link between nominations and elections, meaning the governors aspiring to vie for president have to step aside prior to the party primaries. Zainab Ismail reports that the ruling is being contested by legal experts and public officers.
It is a ruling with monumental repercussions. Justice Weldon Korir directing that governors interested in running for president must resign 6 months before the general election. That ruling has left a bad taste in the mouth for governors with such ambitions.
This recent ruling can only be viewed as discriminatory, unfair and unconstitutional, and we are going to take measures, including going to court to appeal.
Justice Korir's ruling is anchored on Article 137(2) and 3, which dictate that only public or state officers exempted from running for president while in offices are the president himself, the deputy president and a member of parliament. But legal experts say the ruling does not fully address the question.
That observation is what lawyers call an obiter. It is not the reason why the case was before Justice Korir. So it's not binding. It is indicative, but it's not dispositive. So somebody would not rely on that obiter or that observation as a reason to bar governors or deputy governors for running for president. But indicative in the sense that then somebody can move to court to get what you may consider as a guideline judgment, a definitive judicial pronouncement whether a governor is indeed barred from running for office of president, just like the MCA. I can tell you, I'd be surprised if the court went that way.
But more questions abound. If a governor were to resign 6 months before a presidential election, what happens to the administration? For example, would a mini-election be necessary for continuity of service delivery? Does the deputy governor take over? Or would the county hold on for 6 months until the general election?
It's unlikely that the High Court, sitting independently to examine the question whether a serving governor need to resign before they contest for presidency or not. I think the court would not hold the view that they need to resign, because that, for two reasons. One, there is no constitutional backing for that demand. Number two, the purpose for resignation for elective public office holders is so that they don't hold two elective offices at the same time.
Governors Weekly for Paranya of Kakamega, Makueni's Professor Kivutha Kibwana, Mombasa's Hassan Joho, Muranga's Mwangi Wairia and Alfred Mutua have expressed interest in the job. Zainab Ismail, NTV.
Police in Malava area of Kakamega County are holding a middle-aged woman who allegedly poisoned her husband and 3 stepchildren after a domestic quarrel. Zacchaeus Mosame reports that one minor has passed away as a result.
The unfortunate incident occurred at Muyundi village in Malava constituency. The accused, 34-year-old Adelaide Simiyu, is said to have prepared an evening meal laced with poison. The intention was to eliminate her 3 stepchildren and their father. One child died from the incident, while the other 3 patients are receiving emergency treatment at the Lugud Mission Hospital in Bungoma County. Neighbors say Adelaide's actions were as a result of a marital dispute.
Nipeleke nje akalala nje. Wenye alala tu nje kiasi akaanza kuhara na kutapika, wakamrutisha kwa nyumba. Kitoko tu hivi shoshana niita ati kuja mwenzaka anasirai. Wenye nimshika akasema sina nguvu hata ya kusimama.
Nilisikia nduru, nikakimbia kutoka nyumbani nikafika hapa. Hakika nikapata mtoto amelala, amekufa. Kuuliza ni nini mbaya? Nauliza, nilikuwa nafikiria ni huyo peke yake. Lakini nikapata wengine wameenda hospitali, mtoto yangu pia ameenda hospitali. Hakika nimelia.
Huyu mama Okamba huyu alipika chakula jioni. Sasa iko mtoto mmoja ambaye amezaa. Wakati walikula chakula, sasa inapatikana yeye na mtoto yake ambaye amezaa mmoja huyu ni wasima. Lakini watoto ambao alipata ni wenzake, wote wako hospitalini na bwana yake.
The suspect has allegedly been threatening to kill the minors on several occasions.
Anataka kuniwekea mimi sumu kwa chakula alafu aniitie. Na mimi nikakataa kukujanga hapa. Kaishi huko kwa shosho.
Chakula inasemekana ilikuwa kidogo. Si chakula ambayo ilipaki, waenda wafanye uchunguzi. Aliona atengeneza tu chakula kidogo ile watakula wamalize, hata iko kitafuta evidence ikosekana.
Kwa maana mtu kama huyu kukaa kwa familia kama amefanya kitendo kama hiki, haruhusi kukaa hapa. Lakini tutakaa kama familia tukiwa kama ni kuenda aende. Hawezi rudi hapa kama amefanya kitendo kama hiki.
Adelaide is currently in lawful custody at the Malava police station awaiting arraignment on Wednesday. Zacchaeus Mosame, NTV, Kakamega.
We're heading into another break, but here's something you should see. Scientists have long known that people sick with certain diseases emit particular odors, and dogs, which have their remarkable ability to pick out scents, could prove useful allies in the battle against a virus that has killed more than 1 million people worldwide. U.S. researchers are now training dogs to seek out asymptomatic people who are infected by teaching them to smell the odor that comes off the infected person in hopes of eventually dispatching them to screening checkpoints at public places like airports and schools to help identify undiagnosed cases.
Celebrate Mashujaa Day with Royal Mabati. We have glossy profiles at Kenya shillings 370, tiles profiles from Kenya shillings 550 countrywide, and Royal Aluzinc startup pricing at 290 for hardwares. We also have light gauge steel and stone coated, which is fireproof, resistance to harsh weather and conditions like rain and termites. Cheaper compared to timber and durable to serve generations to generations. Call us today to make your order. Free delivery countrywide with Lipa Pole Pole payment option available.
Disinfect and protect your home with Jik. Jik kills 99.9% of illness-causing germs. Disinfect floors, kitchen and bathroom surfaces and wash white clothes, towels and dishcloths with Jik bleach. Just Jik it.
When I was in prison, I thought a lot about you.
This is not acceptable!
We know you love milk, and now there is milk that loves you. With Gold Crown lactose-free milk, you can enjoy the richness of natural cow's milk without any of the digestion discomfort. Gold Crown lactose-free, milk that loves you.
Do your gums hurt? Yeah. Does your toothpaste contain sage, eucalyptus, myrrh, chamomile? All that in one toothpaste? Yes, try Colgate Herbal. Colgate Herbal contains nature's best herbs and Colgate's fluoride technology to give you strong teeth and healthy gums. Ah, Colgate Herbal. Let's go. Colgate Herbal for strong teeth and healthy gums naturally.
Parenting is all about learning when to be tough and when to be gentle. Tough, gentle. But when it comes to fever, you need to be both. Panadol Baby and Infant starts to work on fever in 15 minutes and is gentle on the tummy. Tough call. Panadol Baby and Infant. Tough on fever, gentle on your child.
With the Stay Soft refill, saving money is as easy as snip, pour, mix with water and shake. Stay Soft refill. It's 2 liters of Stay Soft for up to 30% less.
We deserve more girls. No leakage. No leakage. No, no, no leakage. We need a big change in our lives. Do you think this is it, girls? No. No, no, no. No, no, no irritation. No, no, no. No, no, no irritation. We need a
For the women who deserve more, Moped is now in Kenya and more than 40 countries. With its nylon-free surface, new Moped has unique softness and up to 100% protection. Your skin will love it.
We all are looking for products to protect ourselves from viruses, but not all products protect us. Did you know that using Dettol soap and water protects against viruses? Many viruses are surrounded by an envelope with receptors that enable them to enter a human cell and cause infection. Dettol soap destroys the outer layer of the virus and effectively removes it. Protect your family from the spread of viruses with Dettol. Dettol cleans and is now tested and proven to be effective against COVID-19 virus. This has been Medifax for Dettol.
The Dettol range is available on Jumia. Shop safely and conveniently today.
It is time to get down to business. Let's start on a public finance note. County governments can now begin catching up with the payments of some of the pending bills they have following the receipt of money from the National Treasury. This follows disbursement of 52 billion shillings by the Treasury as equitable share for the months of July and August. The delayed disbursement to counties by Treasury was occasioned by the prolonged stalemate at the Senate over the County Allocation Revenue Bill of 2020, which saw politics come into play. The bill was passed on the 6th of October and assented to by the President 2 days later. It was gazetted on the 12th of October, leading to the disbursement of the funds a day later. Treasury is now urging the Senate and the National Assembly to find a permanent solution to the handling of the critical bills to avoid similar stalemate in future.
And on to a matter which has stolen the headlines for a couple of days now. Listed agriculture farm Kakuzi and its growers are worried that suspended supplies to British retailer Tesco will weaken their sales further, coming on the back of a 9.4% year-on-year decline in sales in 2019. Kakuzi has come out guns blazing, accusing UK-based newspaper The Sunday Times of deliberate efforts to damage the reputation of the company and the association of its customers. Martin Mora has the details.
A day after British retailer Tesco suspended supplies from Kakuzi following allegations of abuse of human rights, the listed agricultural farmers accused Lady Law Firm of running a smear campaign against Kakuzi and some of its customers. Speaking at their company Parkhouse, the management of Kakuzi argues that only a few of the accusations have ever been reported to the company or Kenyan authorities.
Now, first and foremost, Kakuzi does not condone any abuses of human rights by employees that are working for the company. If we get to learn about them, the company has a mechanism of internal investigations that enables us to get to the bottom of any accusation that has been leveled against the company or against the employees of the company.
The allegations made in the Sunday Times article are against Kakuzi employees committing criminal acts against Kenyan citizens. The lawsuit, filed on behalf of 79 Kenyans at London's High Court, accuses the subsidiary Kakuzi of employing security guards who are alleged to have perpetrated horrific abuses since 2009, including killings and rape.
But how is Kakuzi expected to solve problems with people that they do not know? To solve problems arising from employees that are unnamed? It's obviously asking the company to do the impossible.
Growers Engage says that the action by Tesco threatens to subdue their earnings. Tesco is one of the Kakuzi's biggest clients as it sources thousands of Murang'a-grown avocado every year.
Tunasikitika sana kusikia Kakuzi itafungiwa makorofia.
Ikiwa sasa hawatapata market ya kuuza huku, we are dead.
Vile mimi nasikia kwa roho yangu, hata kama ni mtu wako hapa tunasapigana naye sana, sababu ananiharibia mahali mimi napata chakula ya watoto wangu.
The company, which has employed over 3,000 people, said they undertake regular third-party local and international accreditation audits which govern the sector, saying the reports are made available to their trade partners, including Ethical Trading Initiative. Martin Mora, NTV, Murang'a County.
And we certainly will be keeping tabs on that story. Elsewhere, the National Treasury has invited institutions in both public and private sector and the public to submit taxation proposals to be considered while preparing the financial year running between July 2021 and June 2022. This comes even as a three-day conference for economists and statisticians has kicked off this morning in Mombasa. Kevin Mutai has the details.
Economists and statisticians are meeting in Mombasa to deliberate on areas the government needs to focus on to ensure a speedy recovery of the economy.
Projection for 2020 was 2.5, which is actually much lower than the normal circumstances. For example, last year we recorded a 6.3% growth.
The over 100 officials from different government agencies together with the private sector will also be sharing their thoughts and arguments on how to address the ballooning public debt.
Sometimes the government may reach a point whereby it cannot accommodate any more debt, either foreign or local, and the only way to do this is actually to strengthen the public-private partnership, where the private sector is invited to come and participate in the development of infrastructure instead of government borrowing to finance that infrastructure.
A survey conducted by the State Department for Planning reveals that the country lost over 1.6 billion shillings through stalled projects. This majorly caused by duplication of projects by both levels of government.
Kabla tuanze mpangilio wote wa serikali, kama ni chochote inahitajika, tumeipanga, tumeipata. Kwa hivyo tukianza mradi hamna mambo ya kusimamishwa pale katikati.
It is at this meeting that the Ministry of Treasury will also set pace, racing against the timeline for the budgetary proposals for the year 2021-2022. Kevin Mutai, NTV Mombasa.
And let's close by taking a look at the financial services. KCB Bank has received approval for $150 million or 16.3 billion shillings from the International Finance Corporation as lead syndicator to support the growth of the bank's sustainable climate finance portfolio. This financing targets strengthening of the bank's green financing goals and will enable KCB to strengthen lending to micro, small and medium-sized businesses at a time when the business environment is adversely affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. KCB Group Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director Joshua Oigara says the funding complements the government's efforts through the MSME Guarantee Scheme to avail funding to this important sector of the economy. And that takes us to the close of business. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.
We all are looking for products to protect ourselves from viruses, but not all products protect us. Did you know that using Dettol soap and water protects against viruses? Many viruses are surrounded by an envelope with receptors that enable them to enter a human cell and cause infection. Dettol soap destroys the outer layer of the virus and effectively removes it. Protect your family from the spread of viruses with Dettol. Dettol cleans and is now tested and proven to be effective against COVID-19 virus. This has been Medivax for Dettol.
The Dettol range is available on Jumia. Shop safely and conveniently today.
Ah, Helen Paul.
Hello, madam. Would you like to join us on this mission?
Yes, but how?
Just one question for you. How do you keep your toilet clean?
I use regular detergent and bleach for washing and removing yellow stains. I've been using it for years.
Oh, madam, the regular detergents and bleach are used for washing clothes. To disinfect your toilet properly, you need Harpic 10X. It is specially made for germs and stains removal. Harpic's thick formula settles on stains and gives 10 times better cleaning compared to regular detergents and bleach.
Wow, now I'm convinced, Helen Paul.
Really?
Yeah.
Now that she's part of the mission, the next house is yours.
Credit to you if you stay at home. If you must shop online, use your NCBA credit card. Stay home. Stay safe.
From far with you. I even gifted you a magnificent house. Rosa, it's the thought that counts. Please help me.
When it comes to fever, you need to be both. Panadol Baby and Infant starts to work on fever in 15 minutes and is gentle on the tummy. Panadol Baby and Infant, tough on fever, gentle on your child.
Come over. Wacha nikupikie Chef Ramsey. Yes.
Rina vegetable oil stays liquid to the last drop, so it's smooth cooking from start to finish. Now with an easy-to-pour cap, mapishi poa, madishi poa.
Are you looking to study abroad? Options Education Agency is here for you. With over a decade of experience in applications to reputable Australian and UK universities, we take pride in our services, professional counseling, visa applications, airport pickups and accommodation arrangements. Visit our offices in Nairobi, the Mall Westlands first floor, or call us on 0724 333 222. Options Education Agency, where your journey begins.
Introducing Centric Courts Apartments in Tindigwa, Kiambu, located just 12 kilometers from the CBD. On sale is a group of 3-bedroom apartments that offer elegance, style and proximity to a host of services and amenities. Enjoy 24/7 security, ample parking space, hot solar water and kids play area. Cash offer at 10.5 million. Rent at 55,000 shillings or a block of 16 units for 116 million. The first 3 cash buyers will win a car or a furnished apartment. Call us on 0735 832 709 or 0791 874 281.
Thank you for staying with NTV tonight. The body of a man who went missing while in custody at Mbururu Police Post in Kakamega County has been found in River Nzoia with visible torture marks. A preliminary police report says the body was also fastened with ropes and had visible whip marks all over, an indication that the deceased may have been tortured to death. Human rights crusaders in the region are now calling on the Independent Policing Oversight Authority to conduct thorough investigations into how Lusava died. They say preliminary investigations show he was last seen alive at the station, and Lusava was arrested last Wednesday, which led to irate locals setting the police post ablaze in protest. Across the border, Africa's tallest mountain is on fire. Efforts are ongoing in Tanzania to extinguish the fire that broke out on Sunday. Members of the Tanzania National Parks Authority and local people have been struggling to put out the blaze, but their efforts have been hampered by the altitude as well as strong winds and dry weather, which have caused the fire to spread fast. The cause of the fire is not clear, but there is speculation that the flames could have spread from a fire used to prepare food for tourists. We're taking another break for the sports news with Ida Waringa, but take a look at this. This, what you're about to see, if my director puts it up, there you go, is Emmy, a 1.5-month-old baby puma, having her second medical checkup at the Paris Zoo. The feline was born in public under the gaze of visitors and zoo staff, which is quite unusual. All she needs to do now is to familiarize herself with a group of adult felines who, for the moment, seem to accept her rather well.
Ajali katika sekta ya bodaboda zinaendelea kuongezeka kila siku. Chanuka na Bodaboda Insurance imeletwa kwako na Chanuka Fintech wakishirikiana na Credit Bank na kuwezeshwa na M-Pesa. Kujisajili kwa Chanuka na Bodaboda Insurance, bonyeza *277#, weka shilingi 200 kila siku kwa siku 10, alafu ufuatilie na shilingi 50 kila siku kwa miezi 6, au ufuatilie na shilingi 300 kila Friday kwa miezi 6.
Fresh Fry Premium Cooking Oil now has a new look and an advanced spout and seal. Triple refined, zero cholesterol and natural vitamin E. Fresh Fry, always heart friendly. Now it's even more cooking friendly. Fresh Fry, the premium cooking oil for healthy living.
Kazi ni simu, tusindio? Umeona ring yangu?
Ring gani?
Ni za gold, pure gold. Si zile vitu za 20 bob zenye mnanuanga huko.
Madam sijaiba kitu yote maisha yangu.
Oh, so umeanza uwizi hapa kwangu Nataka kuangalia bagi yako.
Sijachukua kitu yote madam.
Vitu zinapotea kwa nyumba, kwa hivyo ni muhimu tukiangalia kama watu wanaiba.
Anachikile shop iko pale hivi ya M-Pesa karibu na kwa Rasta. Ndio shop atatuchapelea usiku.
Hizi ni nini sasa?
Are you looking to settle your family in an affordable, clean and serene environment? Get your value-added plot at only 1.295 million shillings. We also have flexible payment options of up to 12 months. Call us today on 0790 300 300.
Jisort na bonga style yako by redeeming your bonga points for affordable smartphones at unbeatable prices at Safaricom shops and dealers countrywide or on masoko.com. Just dial *126#, check your points balance and go shopping.
NTV Sport in association with Showmax.
Time for the latest happening in the world of sport. We kick off with the new Kenyan Premier League season, which could start by 20th November, following an announcement by the Football Kenya Federation Premier League's General Council. This is, of course, dependent on the government giving a green light to the resumption of football in Kenya after a recent continuation of the ban on all contact sports in the country by the Ministry of Sport, while the previous KPL season was cancelled and Gor Mahia declared champions by the FKF. FKF, while Nairobi City Stars and Bidco were promoted to the top tier. The General Council, which consists of representatives from the 18 KPL clubs, says that the proposed dates are to ensure the new league season aligns with the international calendar as, and I quote, beyond that, it will be impossible to commence and complete the league, end of quote. Well, fixtures for the new season will be released on Thursday. Well, to the big one of the day, Portugal and Juventus forward Cristiano Ronaldo has tested positive for COVID-19, the highest profile footballer to test positive for the virus. The 35-year-old isn't showing any symptoms yet and has been sent home from international duty to self-isolate, while the superstar was part of the Portugal team set to face off against Sweden in the ongoing UEFA Nations League Group C contest with their rematch scheduled for Wednesday in Lisbon. A Cristiano Ronaldo brace, by the way, gave Portugal an easy 2-0 win over Sweden in their reverse September fixture in Stockholm. The Portuguese featured in the goalless draw against France in Paris on Sunday. The test result also means Ronaldo is a doubt for Juventus' Champions League group match against Barcelona that will be on October 28th, which was set to pit Ronaldo against, you guessed it, his old rival Lionel Messi. Well, the 5-time Ballon d'Or winner posted this picture at a team meal less than 24 hours ago. Well, interestingly enough, Camavinga got Cristiano Ronaldo's jersey after that game that pitted France versus Portugal and posted it on his Snapchat saying that he would never wash it. I wonder what he thinks about that now. Women's only World Half Marathon record holder Peres Jepchirchir and national cross-country champion Kibiwot Kandie are expected to lead the Kenyan charge at the World Half Marathon Championships in Poland on Saturday, 17th October. Team Kenya, consisting of a final squad of 10 athletes, is set to leave the country tonight, with the Rift-based athletes having made their way to Nairobi earlier Tuesday to then leave as a group from the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport this evening. With the absence of three-time champion Jeffrey Kamoro due to injury, Kandie will team up with Leonard Barsoton, Maurice Munene, Bernard Kipkorir and Bernard Kimeli. The Kenyan contingent will be wary of strong opposition that includes world 5,000 and 10,000 meters champion Joshua Cheptegei from Uganda. I do beg your pardon, world record holder that is. In addition to Jepchirchir, the women's team consists of former world record holder Joycelyn Jepkosgei, Dorcas Jepchumba, Brilliant Jepkorir and Rosemary Wanjiro. In form, Sifan Hassan of the Netherlands has pulled out of the competition.
Mimi nasema nimefanya mazoezi vizuri, mwili iko sawa, naenda huko kupigania medal.
Naona line up, niko na our mentors, akina Jocelyn, akina Beris. I think what to lead.
And all the best to Team Kenya there. That will be on Saturday. And Germany are looking to build on victory over Ukraine as they welcome Switzerland in tonight's UEFA Nations League clash. That game currently on. While Joachim Löw's men picked up their first ever victory in this competition in Kiev on Saturday, having drawn 4 and lost 2 of the previous 6. Although they did finally get the long-awaited Nations League win, Germany were denied the clean sheet that has evaded them in the competition since their first ever match against Spain, conceding in all 6 since. Switzerland impressed during the 2018-19 edition of this tournament, topping a section that included Belgium before losing to eventual winners Portugal in the semi-finals. In a pick of other games, Spain are currently away to Ukraine.
Hope you are enjoying this live training session here in the ADM Sportpark Stuttgart in Stuttgart.
Well, he is one for the ages. For more than half a century, Dragisa Kosnich has been scouring the football grounds, and despite being only few months shy of his 67th birthday, yes, you heard me right, doesn't plan on hanging up his boots. Quite possibly the oldest active football player in Europe lives in the same ramshackle village house in Serbia's northeast, in which he was born in 1954.
Serbia's Dragisa Kosnich lives and breathes football, and despite being nearly 67 years old, has no plans to hang up his boots just yet. He plays week in, week out in Serbia's official football league, which requires rigorous medical tests to check his fitness before each season. He says that he doesn't know of any other players of his age in the same position. His teammates tend to be young enough to be his grandchildren. Kosnich, or Kol as he is known, plays for his hometown team in northeastern Serbia, Proleta Međa, which is currently in the league's 6th division. The stocky defensive midfielder admits that he can't always keep up with his teammates, the youngest of whom is 50 years his junior. Kosnich lives in the village of Međa in the same ramshackle house in which he was born. He receives a pension of less than 130 euros a month and also keeps a couple of goats and sheep. The club competed in the former Yugoslavia's 2nd division but managed to eliminate that season's champion Hajduk Split in a cup match in 1978.
Age truly isn't anything but a number. That wraps it up on Sport Tonight. I'm Ida Waringa. See you tomorrow. Do enjoy your viewing.
NTV Sport in association with Showmax.
With a couple of minutes to the top of the hour, we wrap up NTV Tonight. Thank you to David Agondoa for the sign language interpretation and the team backing us up to make you the news of the day, and you definitely making it all the more worth it for us to put in all the work. Have yourself a good night and be safe.
This is NTV.
I help women find independence by training them in fish farming. It's tough on my back, joints, and can cause headaches. Panadol Extra relieves multiple types of pain. If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Parenting is all about learning when to be tough and when to be gentle. Tough, gentle. But when it comes to fever, you need to be both. Panadol Baby and Infant starts to work on fever in 15 minutes and is gentle on the tummy. Tough call. Panadol Baby and Infant. Tough on fever, gentle on your child.
Many bidii na kusema leo niko ndani kuangusha mistari na kudamini ufahari Form gani Trust studied Ripped I'm a classic Form gani Trust studied Ripped I'm a classic Leo niko ndani Are you the standard man? Trust Are you the great man? Trust Are you the classic man? Trust Are you every man?
Trust condoms. Who are true.
Kazi ni simple, si ndio? Umeona ring yangu?
Ring gani?
Ni za gold, pure gold. Si zile vitu za 20 bob zenye mnanuanga huko.
Madam sijaiba kitu yote maisha yangu.
Oh, so umeanza wizi hapa kwangu Nataka kuangalia bagi yako.
Sijachukua kitu yote madam.
Vitu zinapotea kwa nyumba, kwa hivyo ni muhimu tukiangalia kama watu wanaiba.
Anachukile shop kupotea hivi ya M-Pesa. Karibu na kwa Rasta. Mimi ndio shop atatuchapelea usiku. Hizi ni nini sasa?
Are you looking to settle your family in an affordable, clean and serene environment? Get your value-added plot at only 1.295 million shillings. We also have flexible payment options of up to 12 months. Call us today on 0790 300 300.
This week on Lit 360.
I know that you're addicted. I know the shit you got wasn't the shit you expected. I know you're sitting pretty hoping that you didn't miss it.
This is Maya Molo and you're watching Lit 360. Keep it locked.
Get ready.
Madem sasa hivi naweza sema ndo ana chick sana. Ukiangalia fiti.
Sasa juu eti tuongee uzeti kwa barabara ndio.
Ndio ulisikia.
Lit 360 in association with Trust Condoms.
Form yangu ni trust real. Trust Condoms. Kuwa true.